Dynamos. It is Gals, Gays, and Days time here at Mod Pod Studio Live. Let's get started with the Rainbow Press. Where's the button? There it is. Oh, golly. And I might as well play a little laughter there, too, since I have such a problem finding the buttons on my cool as bum stream deck here. Hi, everybody. I'm JD Cargill. Welcome to Gals, Gays, and Days, your favorite stop here in the live streaming universe on YouTube and Twitch, where we live stream this gorgeous lifestyle show all about marginalized communities coming together, having a warm place to hang out. I'd like to start things off with stories that are relevant to our community and the world. The Winter Olympics. Can we talk about the Winter Olympics for a second? We're going to start with the bad and end with the good, because there's a lot of stories coming out of China these days. The Winter Olympics are taking place in Beijing, China. You'll recall the Summer Olympics were in Beijing a few years ago, and that's when we thought China was going to get the message that they need to change some of their human rights policies. Well, they didn't, and now the government in the United States decided not to send any kind of delegation from the government. There's no president there, no vice president, in a little you can keep your toys and play with them by yourself moment, because China's human rights violations is actually a very serious story. If you don't know, China is a communist country. They are how's that word go, Mariah? Totalitarian government. So the authoritarian government and regime that is there has gotten even stricter over the years. Several groups have classified them as participating in genocide against some of the people, the Muslim people of Tibet and other places. I'm not 100% sure about how all those facts go. I want to make sure I say that because I'm not a total historian. But it's pretty well documented that there are internment camps right now that the Chinese government is keeping their own citizens in. And so that enough is to know that it's really tough. It's just a tough time in China. Not too long ago, there was that story of the Olympic or the tennis player who was, she kind of made a post on social media accusing a high-ranking Chinese official of perhaps sexually harassing her or whatever. And then all of a sudden, she was not seen for several weeks. That's just shady. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
That's not right. I really feel sometimes like the proof is in the visual pudding. We say that. And a picture tells 1,000 words, and video tells about a bazillion. So let's see somebody. If the world's saying, "Hey, where's this Chinese star? Where's she at? Where this tennis superstar from China? Let's see her. Let's not hide for a couple of weeks." Mm-hmm. I know there's always more complicated things. And speaking of really, really terrible violations of humanity and violations in general, apparently the food that they are serving those in quarantine in China right now at the Winter Olympics is just god-awful. Apparently, one of these, I guess she's a Russian. Yes. What sport is she in?
She's
biathlete. There's a Russian biathlete who says that for every single meal, 3 squares a day, this is what they're getting. If you're looking at the screen or on the podcast, I'll describe it for you. Sorry if you're not able to look at the screen because you're listening on the podcast. It is like one of these styrofoam containers that has 6 or 5 different compartments, and it looks like maybe some potatoes, which don't look that bad, some kind of red sauce. Now, this is the weird thing. There's 2 different kinds of meat. On the bottom, which is probably sort of like maybe high end there, it's like some kind of steak with a big bone in it.
It looks like it's half eaten. I don't know.
Geez,
it just looks...
Really, the thing that's the scariest is the baby chicken in the upper,
that's like raw.
The raw skin. Like, what a chicken, like a Danish hen looks like when you're cooking, like before you cook it.
Yeah.
That is what this little thing looks like. There might be some cultural things at play here as well. I don't want to be insensitive to anybody from China. Maybe this is a real delicacy there, and they think we're hooking these folks up, but. I mean, social, cultural sensitivity does go both ways. Like,
right.
You're the host nation, but you're hosting people from all over the world. Maybe get something that's like more universally palatable. People are fine with grilled cheese and peanut butter and jelly. I mean, I would certainly rather have PB&J than
raw chicken.
Coming out of the corner of the in the corner of a styrofoam tray. It was really odd.
And she had said, this is a quote from her, "My stomach hurts, I'm very pale, and I have huge black circles around my eyes. I want all of this to end. I cry every day. I'm very tired."
Oh my God. That is sad.
Yeah.
That's really I mean, and then these are athletes
Yeah.
that need to be like fueled up in their peak performance. And
Yeah. I mean, yeah, especially you have COVID. You're struggling anyway.
Holy-
You're sick. I mean, and then mentally, you're quarantined. You're in a country that you don't know.
What's that? Oh, hey, Dynamos. They want to know who's talking. Who is this beautiful voice of an angel we're hearing out there? She must be Mariah. There she is.
Hi.
Boop.
Hi.
I love it. Yeah. So Mariah, for those listening, just popped in on the screen. Our engineer. People, I guess, after the first few shows, weren't 100% sure of who you were. Were you zooming in? No, she's here. She is 12 feet away from me.
Yeah.
I should have got the handheld cam for that. But let's shift gears into the good news coming out of the Olympics, and there is a lot of it. Starting off with this Russian ice skater. My goodness. She spun around so many times, I got dizzy. And I'm not even there. She is the first female ice skater, figure skater, to land not one, but 2 quads. I mean, she made double history, I guess, or she set 2 records because she landed first quadruple, I want to say flip. I'll double check that fact. And then something else. She did not stick all 3. She had a third one planned in the end, but I guess when you've already set 2 world records, you're just being greedy at that point. She's 15 years old. She is considered by some, talking about, by the way, today's theme is empowering yourself to be your best self. Empowering your best self. That's today's theme. This 15-year-old who just landed 2 quads in the Winter Olympics is doing just that. Kamila Valieva. How do you say her name? You're like this is exactly why I need to introduce 2 friends who are here now.
Hello.
Ding dong. Wait, what happened? Oh, my doorbell's not working. All right.
Try it now.
There they are.
There we go.
That's the dream. Look who's here.
Hello,
It's
hello.
Christy and DeMarcus. Get in there.
Hello.
DeMarcus,
Okay,
scoot
DeMarcus,
over,
scoot in a
scoot
little.
over, scoot
All right,
over.
all
Get
right,
close
all
to
right.
Christy. I know we've all been vaccinated. We've all been stabbed. We've all been boosted. That's what they call it. Jabbed and stabbed
Jabbed.
in like in different countries. I know. Pricked. Who's been pricked? Everybody raise your hand. I mean, because everybody here has been vaccinated because that is a policy that I hope a lot of companies take. But hi, Dynamos. As you know, we are always joined here by our faithful crew, whoever happens to be in. Christy's going to have a segment on today with her branding and marketing expertise. So she's in chatting with you, Dynamos, right now in the live chat. DeMarcus will be in Twitch talking to those folks on that beautiful outlet. And of course, we're going to get to know DeMarcus a little bit better later in our entertainment segment today. So there's that to look forward to. Be excited. Oh, wrong button. Yeah, DeMarcus, we're going to talk about you later.
JD,
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
JD, I think you should look in the Twitch chat.
Oh, heck yeah. Let's do it. Twitch.
I think
All
there's
right,
a Russian in there.
Le Flage. Viva Russia. Viva la Russia. Hi. Is that Serge?
Yeah.
Oh, I love him. Serge, you're the best. DeMarcus, he gave you a full shout out. Yeah.
What's up,
Love
Serge? How's it going, man?
DeMarcus, let's get in that Twitch chat room so that you can be telling me if anybody else says anything there.
Alrighty.
And that was subtle, right? Back to the good news from the Winter Olympics, Rainbow Press fans. The other good thing, this quadruple story of this beautiful young Russian ice skater leads perfectly into this beautiful young American ice skater. His name is Nathen Chen, and if you did not see him land not 1, not 2, oh, maybe it was just 2. Well, he landed 2 quadruples and at least 3. He started, so he set a record because he got the highest score ever in the men's short program of the Winter Olympics. Male figure skating. So the score was 113.97 or something. The previous one was like 111 something, which the guy that set that is the Japanese guy who's actually competing there, who was favorited to win. And now everybody's stepping back going, oh, let's wait now. Maybe it's not going to be this Japanese guy. Maybe it's going to be this American guy, who I believe is of Chinese descent, right? Chinese American young man, very handsome. Congratulations, Nathen. You just got the highest score ever. I mean, that's really amazing. That's historic. So
Yeah.
awards and props and a lot of this. Good job. And finally, do we have one more story from the Winter Olympics, or was that?
We do have one.
Yes,
more from
we
the Winter
do.
Olympics.
And this is actually one of those moments where, okay, so part of when we were designing this show, Mariah and I talk a lot about it, and everybody, Christy, DeMarcus, about how important it is that we are educating, sending away takeaways that people can use at home. Something that we talk about a lot here is emotional intelligence, responding rather than reacting, kind of just taking a pause moment and saying the things that you mean. And anytime I hear somebody who is processing verbally or doing something that is, to me, a really healthy example, and certainly if they have a high profile, I really like to showcase it. And so from the Winter Olympics, it was a really, sad day for Mikaela Shiffrin, who is the defending gold medalist from the Winter Olympics in the giant slalom. She, she just, I guess it's called skied out. Like it's when they're
fall out.
The first round she got disqualified, and so she was going to go for a triple. Like she was going to get a third gold in this event that would have made it a historic moment for any athlete, but she didn't. But then when she gave this interview to NBC Sports right after, I want to read this quote because I think it's just so empowering. And this is what we're talking about today, empowering yourself to be your best self. It's hard not to dwell, especially for me on these heartbreaking days, but I just cannot afford to spend or waste energy on something that's now in the past. It could have been a beautiful day to be doing some good DS racing, and that's not the path I'm going to take anymore at this Olympics. So I'm going to reset, focus on what I can control for the slalom. It's still a long 2 weeks to go, and I'm still looking forward to it. And I'm sorry that was the performance I did today. But that also happens. And well, I won't hide the disappointment, but I'm also not going to dwell on that because it's not going to help me with anything at all. That is a brilliant yes. Like
I loved that. I thought that was such like a powerful thing and could teach us so much because not giving the energy and the negativity that she wanted to, she's still disappointed and
She's
amazing.
Acknowledging the trauma.
Yeah.
Like you have to acknowledge it. In order to process feelings. A lot of people, I'm surprised, don't realize what it means to process feelings. Like I know we all say it and it's really conversational, like, oh, I'm still processing. But the truth is, if you have some kind of trauma, which she's been training for her whole life for this moment, and she's already a gold medal winner. We're so grateful for that. And she has another chance in 2 weeks in a different event. But imagine the disappointment, the crushing. This interview was given seconds after she's just gone through this life-changing disappointment, and she has the wherewithal to say something like that, like it hurts, I'm disappointed, I'm sorry that was the performance that happened today, but that happens. And she's that acknowledgement, that is processing feelings. That's giving voice to them and then taking away the power from it. And then you just set those feelings over there and they don't have the control over you anymore.
And being so calm about it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was. So you must have seen the clip because you're right. You're exactly right. She was very calm when she said it. Or maybe my dramatic reading of her quote was very calm.
It felt calm.
Call
the
those
video
Oscar
is
people.
in the description as well. If anyone wants to watch that video, it's in the description.
Yes. And that's a good reminder too. Everything we talk about on the show, we do our best to link to it below, especially if we're, from the music we use to the articles that we cite, it's all below. This is a transparent media world that we are creating here. Hello, everybody. Hello. Okay, so the next story let me see, what time is it? Because I want to make sure that we get to everybody. Oh, we're doing great.
Good.
We're doing so good. This is a feel-good story that was not widely, maybe when it happened, when it was announced last November, it was out there a little bit, but the first black woman to ever go to the International Space Station from NASA. That is happening. Her name is Jessica Watson. She is scheduled to fly up and join the International Space Station for a 6-month tour or mission, I guess they call them. And that is going to launch in April if everything goes according to schedule. And I just love this story so much because obviously Mae Jemison back in the day was the first African-American woman ever in space. But today we're talking about empowering your best self. And you can't imagine that this young Jessica Watson grew up being told by every single person she met how she was going to be an astronaut someday and be the first woman. By the way, 20 years the International Space Station has been around, floating up there with the satellites. And so it's taken 2 decades for, a black woman to be included amongst the astronauts that are there. And obviously it's international, so there's other Perhaps it's happened for another country. I'm not sure about that, but maybe not.
I think that we talked about this earlier a little bit because I was like so curious about, is she the one who's going up for 6 months?
Yes.
Okay. How crazy that
Right.
experience would be. You're not speaking to anybody except for the people that are with you. And also, I asked, do you lose like all of your muscle being up there? And we were chatting about this because I was like, okay, if you've like, they have to have special diets.
Yeah.
They have to have like special workout regimens. I just think it would be crazy. I couldn't imagine that.
I mean, in a way, you like instantly lose a lot of weight.
Yeah, you do,
So-
literally.
You literally are weightless. So yeah, I've heard that astronauts have to like learn to contract certain muscles and really hold their core in, and there's all kinds of special tricks they have to learn to use the restroom. I mean, it's a zero gravity environment, and so
It's
you can
insane.
imagine.
For 6 months, huh?
Yes, I literally used to
Fun.
think when I was a kid that when you're on a spaceship or whatever that they could just make gravity happen.
I kind of thought that too. Like it was like a
'Cause that's in so many
confined-
movies.
Yeah,
Exactly.
well, and people on spaceships are like walking around most of the time.
They're like
Wait, you
sticking
can't?
to the ground.
Yeah, and I'm like, this
Yeah,
is
no,
so
you-
interesting.
Right. It's
Yeah, like
just
every show or movie I've seen, it's like a button that you push, and then it's like gravity mode.
Yes.
interesting. Maybe.
Right?
Okay. You know what, Dynamos? I need your help. Find out.
is that
Somebody. We
fake?
need to find out if gravity is something that actually can be turned on and off. I don't think it can. I have a feeling that it's just a condition that is.
Yeah.
But you can
Because when you
do
say
things
it like
to
that,
fight
it does
yeah.
sound kind of crazy. Like, how do you make?
Yeah.
How would gravity be turned on?
I
by a
don't know,
button?
but in the movies, I was like, oh yeah, gravity mode. Did not
Yeah,
even question it. Was
You
super
know who
here
would
for
know? Sandra Bullock.
it. Ask Sandra.
I'll just
Right.
text her. I'll
I'm
text
calling her.
I'll DM her really
Could
quick.
someone
hey,
get her on
super
line
curious.
1, please? Andrew. Hey, Sandy. Your
second,
movie,
second, I got
remember
it.
it's called Gravity? Does that happen in space? I mean, yeah, it does not happen in space. Okay, so I did like that story. And you know what's perfect about that story? Is it leads right into our first mindful moment. This is the moments in the show where we take a little break, just 60 seconds, maybe not even that long, to show you something inspiring, helpful, or amusing. And here is the one that is connected to Black women in space. Okay, I just took the music away. I'm going to read this for anybody listening on the podcast. Don't let anyone rob you of your imagination. You know what? I cannot see that that far away, so I am going to pull it up right here. Don't let anyone rob you of your imagination, your creativity, or your curiosity. It's your place in the world. It's your life. Go on and do all that you can with it and make it the life that you want to live. That is Mae Jemison. Mae Jemison is, of course, an American engineer, physician, and former NASA astronaut. She became the first Black woman to travel into space when she served on a mission on the shuttle Endeavour. And that was back in 1987. She was there for, looks like a few days, September 12th through 20th, 1992. So congratulations to her. And, of course, Jessica Watson, who will be going up to the International Space Station next. Just blasting people. Like, these women come from marginalized communities where it is definitely not expected that they're going to be a NASA astronaut. Except now we're changing that and talking about it in the way it should be. So without further ado, folks, I want to toss over to our next segment. I'm going to take a break from the host desk here and go join the DeMarcus with the Dynamos. Ladies and gentlemen, our branding marketing guru and the very first time doing her own segment, KCM Connect Corner with Christy McInnes. Ladies and gentlemen, Christy McInnes.
Life goes up and it goes down. I know my mom taught me that. I figured why we fool around so little, and we keep track of time, being so serious. idiots thinking it will matter, keep me company downtown. Before the clock runs out, all things must pass. But I'm not gonna wake up, wake up. I'm not ready, let me have another day. Don't wake up, wake up. Keep it steady, cause I'm happy, I'm not gonna wait.
Hello, guys. I am Christina McGinnis, and I am hosting KCM Connect Corner. I am so excited. Every Tuesday, I will be bringing you all the juicy marketing details from this corner of the internet. And with us, JD has
Yay,
switched.
what up?
Everybody's in here. We are jazzed. We are excited. First one, ready to rock and roll.
That seems like it deserves a round of applause, don't you think? Oh, yes. Oh, Christy.
And I can work the box.
Work that box. Work that. No,
Work
we're
the
not
box.
doing that. That's not going to be a thing.
So this episode, for our first episode, I want to gear it towards Valentine's Day. So I want to call this Don't Be Stupid, Cupid. And we are doing marketing all around Valentine's Day. And I love me some Valentine's Day. Do you guys have opinions on Valentine's Day? Do we love it? What's your guys' vibe?
Oh, you know, we
Long
should.
sigh. We have.
I'm trying to. DeMarcus, how's your girlfriend, DeMarcus?
Just clear my throat, you know?
He's like, I need to breathe.
Yeah. Valentine's is just Valentine's Day, you know? This year, I'm not sure what will happen, but we're going to get through it.
Wow,
We
it
are
sounds like
getting
it sounds like the flu, like something you have to tolerate.
I know. He's not excited.
No.
He's been like dreading it.
That's not excitement in his
That
voice.
is not excitement.
You know what did it for me?
Okay. We have story time. I'm
There's a
excited
story.
here.
I love it.
Once upon a time, I dated this chick, and her birthday was the day after Valentine's Day. So for like 3 or 4 years, it was just double the presents.
back
and
to back.
It was just I don't want to say it was a nightmare. The first one was great.
Yeah, because it's fun. It's
It was
new.
fun. It was like,
It's
okay, I could deal with this.
yeah.
Then it starts to add up, you know? You're like, God, I got to get flowers too? A bear? You sure you want to go out to eat? All right. Well, so, I don't know. After that, I was kind of sour about Valentine's Day. We'll see what happens. We'll see
Okay.
what
That's funny.
I
But
like the we'll see what happens.
I just wanted to say one thing. Obviously, no offense, but where do we stand on the word chick as a reference to women? Is that like something that we are? I don't know. To be honest, I'm
I'm here for it. I feel
You're
like
like
chick
it?
is. Yeah, I feel like that's totally fine. A chick.
Mariah?
There is controversy behind the
I
word.
think there's
Oh,
some
really?
controversy.
Well, I
There
heard
is.
of like the Dixie Chicks had to change their name. But
Yes.
that was like a
That was about
different.
Dixie.
Yeah, that was about the Dixie.
That was about
part.
the Dixie.
They
part.
couldn't
But-
have the Dixie or the chicks.
They got no.
What are they called now? I think
Oh,
they're just
gosh.
called the chicks, aren't
I think they might be just called the Chicks. Let
Maybe-
me look
I
up
don't know.
Dixie Chicks' new name.
I love it.
I think it's because
Answering.
it's technically a word used to objectify women.
exactly because it's like
I don't want that.
cupcake.
Hey, we learn. Hey, we learn.
Sweetheart, like all
Yeah.
these nicknames.
But I feel like I personally don't find chick offensive.
I think it is a personal preference
and I
thing.
think
Yeah.
that's always fair. I
kind
feel
of like how like guys is like
Yeah.
also it's a lot of personal preference.
it is, but it's also knowing the room you're in, right?
Yeah.
And since we are broadcasting out to all kinds of folks, I like to talk about it,
Yeah.
not to
Yeah.
have an opinion necessarily or come to a decision right here, right now. But when I heard it, I was like, I wonder if that's one of those words that is being reconsidered or thought of, or because it is an objectification word, right? Because you're not a chicken.
Yeah.
I mean, there are female chickens and there are baby chicks,
There are.
and those are chicks.
Okay, how are you?
I would actually like to get some chicks.
I would-
I used to always want chickens.
I would love some chicken nuggets from McDonald's. Just like
Oh.
just a little.
Sorry,
Wouldn't
little
mind
chicks.
that. But okay, tell us about what you think about Valentine's Day.
So Valentine's Day to me is it isn't a big deal. Like my mom used to get me a Valentine's Day card every year, which is really sweet. And when you're a little kid, it's fun to share your Valentines and give candy to everybody in the classroom. But later on, it just felt like it's nice to have, if you happen to have someone in your life that you want to share a romantic moment with, why not do it? But to me, it feels like more of a marketing opportunity for greeting card companies. And
Yeah.
I feel like it's invented. I feel like commercialization and capitalism sort of made Valentine's Day what it is to us these days.
I agree.
I personally love it. I love love. And so anything that's number one, you can like celebrate other people in your life. Like I'm making like a cute little Evite to like send out to people that they can open. It's like a ton of hearts. Because I think that people, if you're single, it's like, oh my gosh, Valentine's Day.
Right.
And then if you're taken, you're like, oh my gosh, Valentine's Day because of the money.
They call it SAD, right? Single Awareness Day.
Yeah.
Oh my
but I think I love it. And too, like, why not celebrate yourself? Why not celebrate
And
your
Christy's
friends?
totally in love and has a Valentine. And I mean, some
It's about
people are very
changing
lucky.
The narrative, I think.
Yes.
Because in high school, like, I hated it. I thought it was so annoying.
Yeah.
But then I think if I switch what it means to me and like the people around me and like make it fun and not necessarily like spend a ton of money or something, but like go out to a fun dinner with your girlfriends and
Yeah.
the love with your friends, the love for yourself.
Sure.
And you can do
yeah.
so many fun things. Like I have a group of girlfriends. I won't be in town for Valentine's Day in like LA, and they're all getting together. Each one of them's making like a cocktail that they love to make, and they're all like naming them, and then they're all getting together, and everyone's making their own favorite little cocktail.
That's fun.
That's
And
so
see, that's
fun.
like cute and fun, and that's why like I love it. There's like so much room, and people just make it for like relationships. But like celebrate your girlfriend, celebrate yourself. Go
Yeah.
have a bubble bath, buy yourself chocolate.
Yeah. And that is
Yeah.
empowering your best self.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you're single on Valentine's Day, it doesn't have to be a sad day.
No.
Make it a friendship. I love my friends day. I love that.
Valentine's.
I think it's fun. So
Valentine's
should we
Day.
jump into our first marketing
Let's
story?
do it.
Okay, yay. So this is actually, we're going to show 2 videos, and they're for Adore Me. And the second one with the blonde, you guys will totally see her. That's like one of my BFFs, Mackenzie. She's so cute. All of these ads are running like crazy in New York. There's like, I don't even know how many billboards with all the Adore Me girls.
Wow.
And she is in a ton of them. And she's so cute. And I just like love it. And it's so big for her. So they are plastered all over New York City right now. And I love these campaigns. So we can run that first one. I thought they were hilarious.
Adore Me presents What Do Women Really Want for Valentine's Day?
An orgasm so strong, I need to be resuscitated.
Adore Me. Whatever you want to do in our lingerie, we're here for it. Shop the new Valentine's Day collection.
So that was the first ad. And for our podcast listeners, like describing the video. So Adore Me's vibe for this was being like sexy and fun, but really honest, which I personally love. Like the first video is like a girl and they're asking like, what do you want for Valentine's Day? And she's like, I want an orgasm so strong I need to be like resuscitated. Like they're pretty funny. And
Oh, man.
and the way that they're doing them too in the past, I feel like people like with like the sexy Victoria's Secret models and everything, these are like average everyday people putting their spin on it.
Right.
And some of it's really funny. Like Mackenzie's stint that we'll show in a minute, she has like this monologue that she memorized, which is like honestly hilarious and a very relatable thing. She talks about like, okay, I want 15 units of Botox. I want this. I want sexy lingerie.
She was ready to go.
She was ready to go.
She had an answer on lock.
Yeah, and it's just like I feel like a very relatable moment that a guy would be like, hey, babe, like Valentine's Day's coming up soon. Like, what do you want? She has a list ready and then just like walks out the bathroom.
Love it.
So we can run that one. It's pretty good.
Me presents What Do Women Really Want for Valentine's Day?
A trip to Paris, a pair of peep-toe red-soled high-heeled shoes,
And
15
just, like,
units of
what she's
Botox,
buying
sexy
for her
lingerie,
home.
a
I
soft
thought that
wool
was
flannel
a
collar
very,
boxy
like,
shirt, and flowers that don't die.
Not overproduced, which makes I think
Adore Me. Whatever you want to do in our lingerie, we're here for it.
Valentine's Day.
Shop the new Valentine's Day collection. Me presents What
So cute. Love that from Mackenzie.
It's so cute.
But I loved these because of just how like authentic, real, natural. They were really bringing in a lot of things to like the Adore Me site where it's very inclusive. They're using all different types of body types, skin types, like, and I like that a lot of their stuff isn't very edited.
What's Adore Me? Like, what?
So it's a lingerie company.
Oh, okay.
So they do, I believe they do like subscriptions,
Alright,
but they have like super cute lingerie that's at an affordable price. That's kind of like their jam.
Do you think lingerie is having a big comeback moment, or has lingerie always been? It's not something that I know a lot of people that use lingerie personally. I don't know anybody that uses lingerie, but hey.
I don't know. I think it's kind of a mix. I think it's your preference and who you're with. Like,
Right.
If your partner really like loves lingerie, then you're probably buying a lot of it. If not,
see.
then you're
It's
probably
also
not.
fun to feel really sexy and hot.
It is
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's very like
Yeah.
it's a confidence booster. I think lingerie. Right?
Yeah, and too, I think like people wear them like sets, like just for fun. Like
That's
I know
true.
I have it, and I'm like,
You know what my version of
It's become a
lingerie
fashion
is?
thing.
Like if I was to dress up a man and want him to look sexy to me, would be some kind of like sports clothes. I think like like exercise pants, like spandex.
Like dress
so
So,
like baseball, you
gay
wanna,
lingerie,
like, date
gay
a
lingerie
baseball
or
player?
spandex. You be the judge. It might be both. Like
Might be both.
Yeah.
Like a baseball pant moment or like a football pant.
that. Yes.
Okay, love
Coach,
it.
like whistle around the neck.
We
baseball cap.
have a full role play that
Yeah, but that's what it
JG
is,
really
right?
wants.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I am so here for this.
I mean, because in a way, lingerie is role play, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the man in your life or the woman in your life who's asking you to put lingerie on, or non-identifying person, non-binary person, whatever. If they are picturing you in a certain way, they're playing out some kind of little fantasy, right, in
Yeah.
their head, and so it's actually perfect. I get why it's. Thank you. Now I understand why Victoria's Secret exists
Yeah.
and why they should be a sponsor of the show.
Victoria's Secret. They come on, they roll their ads. You know, you never know.
Never know. We talk about lingerie here all the time.
All the time. We all,
1 out of 3 shows we talk about it.
we all start wearing it. Can you imagine?
Oh, gosh.
That'd be quite a different show.
Yeah.
That would be a good show.
But
I mean, I
That's-
wear the leggings. Hey, they're comfortable as hell. All right? Like,
Wait, leggings like yoga pants?
yeah, I'll take my girlfriend's leggings and.
Oh.
Wow.
It
Okay.
started out. She had took my pajamas. Okay.
Oh,
see.
okay.
So I said, okay, well, two can play this game, and I just tried it on. I mean,
And
I
they're
wa- I
pretty.
wanna-
And they're pretty comfy, huh?
They're amazing. I mean, I want to play Superman anyway, so
Yeah.
And
I got to get used to it. You know?
He's
He's
prepping.
preparing
I'm-
for
did
his
you
role.
did you stop there, DeMarcus, or did you try on other things too? Be honest. Just kidding.
No comment.
You don't have to answer that.
Okay.
Wasn't a no.
Was this a more than one time occurrence or just
I
once?
just wore them last night.
Oh, just last night. Okay, so
it.
Fresh.
Weekly thing. You
okay,
know?
I love
Leggings.
it.
They're comfy.
Weekly
They're
thing.
comfy. They're
You know
really
they
comfy.
have jeggings too, right? Or the
Jeggings.
Jeggings.
Yeah.
this was like denim stretchy
I've
ones.
never liked those. Those were never a vibe for me. Like, no. Those didn't
But
fit
yoga
my
pants.
books.
Pick one,
Yoga
though.
pants, yes.
I mean,
I always feel
Jeans
like the fake
or, like-
pockets. Yeah, you got to pick.
You gotta
pick a
pick
lane.
one.
You can't be both. And yeah, they just also don't look right. Like the ass placement of the pockets.
Yeah.
They're like really wedged up there. You're like, why is your
Whoa.
pocket by where your belt should be?
exactly.
They're like jeggings. like I can't handle that. That's just stay in your own lane. Either you're a jean or you're a legging.
Some things weren't meant to be
Excellent.
combined.
They really weren't. Okay, so marketing story number 2. This is on Target's Instagram, and they did a Valentine's Day haul Instagram post that they reposted. I really like this ad because it's very relatable, and when looking at it, you're almost in the perspective of the shopper saying, okay, what am I going to purchase here? And you're looking at all the Valentine's Day stuff. We always go to Target, including myself. I don't need anything at Target. Target tells me what I need. And so in this post, Target told me that I need to go and shop for Valentine's Day, even though I won't be here. But am I going to shop at Target? Absolutely.
Yes, they did all their carts red just for Valentine's Day. I heard. Is that
They
not
just
true?
really mixed
I don't
it
shop
up.
at Target. I don't know what that is.
But this is so cute for the podcast listeners. It's essentially a shopper who is going through the store, grabbing everything from the Valentine's Day section. There are options that where you like leverage your story and you can buy all your setup site like that for yourself when you're reading.
It makes you feel like you're
And
shopping.
then this like talking about like
Oh, those little mushrooms. That's cute. Oh, this is fun. People love videos of people touching things, like unpacking videos, unwrapping, whatever
like
they're called,
unboxing.
and then the MSRP. What is that, MSRP? No, that's not manufacturer sales.
I know, but like, but there's so much in here. And two, then you like go through and you're like, what do I need? What do I not need?
Right.
It's so good. I loved that. I think a lot of the Valentine's Day content and a lot of content in general for marketing is changing over to, there's 3 takeaways I get from this. Number 1, you want to grab your audience's attention super quickly, and they want to know why they're there. Like Adore Me's, they literally put the logo at the front and then they dive on into their segment. Same with Target. You know why you're there. You're shopping. And if you're
Right.
engaged in it, if not, you're going to scroll by. But I think being relatable too, especially around this time of year, price point is a huge thing. And a lot of people feel like, oh my gosh, you have to spend like this really high budget on to make a production. And you're seeing with more TikTok, with Twitch, with all these other things, people want that like in the moment relatable content that's useful to them and giving them some type of information really quickly. And then I think different companies testing out a variety of platforms is really huge, because that, I believe, came from what Target posted on their Instagram came from TikTok, I believe.
I wonder if the executives who are signing off on the budget for advertising at Target are like, okay, so I'm sorry, we spent $3 million on this TV ad and got this response, and then spent $20 not over at one of our stores on a mobile phone and got more response. Like, that's huge. I mean, that's how many people did you say like saw that shopping ad? It was like
I can't remember
20 million or something.
I don't know. There was quite a few. I know it's got like 12,000 likes. I don't know the views on it, but what I think is interesting, and this has been like the sway of like the last few years, is user generated content just performs way better because everyone can sniff out an ad.
Yeah.
You see an ad, you're like, absolutely not. I'm the first person, unless I mean, my Instagram with ads, because I talk all the time in front of my phone, dialed in really helps me. I do have to say, I'm like, hi, I'm looking for this, blah, 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 blah. I need someone to do XYZ. I'm looking for new luggage. Within like 20, 30 minutes, because I'm on my phone all the time, I'm like, new luggage, got that person, got that. So it is useful sometimes.
It is. I mean, it's useful, but it's also like Big Brother is watching, like, and Big Brother is listening to and I swear sometimes Alexa is talking to Google. Wait, that's Amazon. That's two different companies, right? Yeah. Amazon and Google, because I will be saying something that the only way anyone could know I was interested in it is if they heard me. And the only thing that hears me in my house that's electronic is my, smart speaker.
Yeah.
So I wonder sometimes if they're listening and sharing information like that.
100%. I mean, people will like deny it, but that's why like Facebook pretty much changed. I mean, for the long game too, but them changing was because of the bad press around all the data collection. We did this. Okay. Ladies, if you're looking to get engaged. So we actually did this to one. They are now getting married, so it worked. We literally sat by his phone and it was like engagement ring, diamond cut, like all this stuff. 45 minutes. He only got
Oh my
ads,
God, this is brilliant.
we only got ring ads for literally like 3 to 6 months. And then we did that with one of my friends because we were like, let's test it out. Hot chicken sandwiches, and we're talking about like just Nashville hot chicken, all this stuff. Right. She only gets hot chicken.
We gotta do this experiment.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is great. This is a great trick to play on someone. Just go to their computer and just start searching for, sex toys.
No, grab their phone and literally speak into it. Be like, hot chicken sandwich, hot chicken sandwich. Open Instagram, go and like some hot chicken sandwich pages. That's all you'll get.
Done.
It's so
wait, you're saying just talking into your phone gets who's listening? Right.
Well,
phone
Instagram,
is always listening.
Instagram, I think, like if you have it open
if you've
and you're
enabled your
talking,
if you've enabled your microphone, you've probably, if you look in the fine print on the thing that we all clicked on, it probably says we can listen to you anytime we want.
Exactly.
And everyone leaves their like apps open,
Yes.
So if you don't close them, then they're always
open.
Wow.
So scary.
Oh, I'm fully doing this then. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab your phone, Christy.
What are you gonna do?
I am going to get Coach like porn ads.
I'm like, National Boss Day, National Boss Day, Coworker Gift Appreciation Day, Coworker Gift Appreciation Day.
Can you imagine? I get all of these. You're like, all right. Oh, so that one's really good. But loved the Target one. Our last one that we wanted to talk about was it is Love Incorporated, but it was a show that I was actually watching. Called Tom. Is it Tom and Pam?
Pam and Tommy.
Pam and Tommy. We know this show.
Yes, and you guys actually chatted about it. Was it last week?
In a different context, but yes.
And I want to hear everyone's thoughts on this because personally, why I brought it up, I was watching it. It is media, and I love that they recreated the old photos. I think that they are so cool. And the amount of hair and makeup and like everything that these people had to go through. I want to say Lily was in hair and makeup per set like 3 to 4 hours to make her look like that. If you bring up a picture of her like normally,
Lily James, British actress Lily James plays Pamela Anderson.
She looks so. I mean, it's insane. And
She's
like how
exactly like her. Wow.
So wild. But I loved all the recreation. I thought it was so cool. That was definitely like a connect for me. But a topic that I thought would be really cool for all of us to talk about. So if you guys don't know about the show or Pamela Anderson, I don't know how you could not know about her, but I digress. So they there was a sex tape released that she didn't approve. Way back in the day. That's what she was already on Baywatch at this time. So, but it definitely gave them a lot of media attention. She never gave her consent for it to go out. So it was actually stolen, put out against her will, essentially. Yeah. And she, I don't know.
That's the story of the show.
Yeah. That's
the show is telling the story of a contractor who steals a safe that, spoiler alert. Anybody not listening. Yeah. But that's also the famous story that's out there, right? They're just following what was released in the headlines back in the day.
Yeah. And I did some research on it, and it was actually, so they make it like a contractor. It was actually an electrician who released it. And there was certain things that I looked because I was like, okay, how factual is this?
Interesting.
Because,
I wonder why. I know why. Why? The very first scene of this show is actor Seth Rogen, who's playing you're right, contractor, and they made him a carpenter.
Oh yes, a
and
carpenter.
the reason I know is because he's hearing Pam and Tommy have sex, and he's nailing with a nail gun this platform that's going to be the bed platform. And so I think they were trying to draw, this is like a narrative tool, right? They're trying to draw the similarity between him nailing and hearing someone getting nailed upstairs.
That does make sense. And too, for an electrician, you're going to be there, but not as long as you would if you're
carpenter.
Repositioning. Yeah. Right. Repositioning the bed and all this stuff. But long story short, yes, it gets released. What I wanted to chat about through it is this show being made. They reached out to Pamela and said, hey, do you want to be a part of it? Your thoughts? She was completely against it. Because she got essentially exploited the first time without her consent of releasing the sex tape. And now this company is making a show she's not making a dime off of, her or Tommy, and exploiting them again by using all of their information. And I think something like True Hollywood Story is a little bit different when it doesn't have to do with a sex tape that was put out against her will. And two, this was a quote that said, it was a violation. This was someone close to the family that talks about it was a violation having this tape taken. This was a very traumatic time in her life. And it's shocking that they would recreate it. Pam will never watch the Pam and Tommy Hulu series. And she said, having the burglar in her home was a living nightmare. The burglar is the only thing she would love to erase from her life. And it still haunts her to this day.
Aww.
Yeah, that's really...
I have a lot of sympathy for her. If you think about it, celebrities are humans too, and this was a real this was a trauma for her that's now being, it's really powerful, Christy. I think that you bringing up this in this context is helping us think a little bit about, it's easy to it's Pamela Anderson. She's a sex symbol. She's been in Playboy. She was on Baywatch. But maybe, it's also really painful for her to have to relive that particular story about the sex tape.
Don't they have to have their consent and
No.
I don't believe so, because it's now all the information that they're quote unquote getting is in the public forum. So I don't know.
Well, they're public figures, and so there's a difference. All people are, a certain amount of privacy is protected by law. Certainly, if you have an expectation of privacy where you are in your home, and someone tried to photograph you in your home, you could absolutely sue, celebrity or not. But because celebrities sort of have a social contract with the public, which is, I've chosen a career that is understandably in the public light. This is true for politicians. This is true for athletes. This is true for movie stars and television stars, singers. They are now part of the public conversation, which includes in the news media the legal chance to basically make fun of it. It's called satire. It's a rule about satire. You're part of public, the freedom of speech it covers journalism. So we can talk about this, and then also it covers satire. So anytime you see a cartoon or something where they're making the president look like a dope, or that's all protected speech, and so this I think would fall under that.
What do you guys think morally? Let's
it's
say
questionable morally.
All rules aside, how do you guys feel about it? I think it's pretty clear my stance, but
I just feel like she should get money. I feel like that would make this right. And because let's be honest, this is these are very respected artists that are making this work. These are not someone's. I don't think people are trying to go out of their way to hurt her. I think that they find the story compelling. The Lily James, the actress who's playing her, is probably going to get some awards. I mean,
it was phenomenal.
So good.
Her acting is
I'll throw
incredible.
Up her and her as Pamela as well.
So it's not a comedy; it's like serious.
There
when you said
is-
Seth Rogen, I just picture him going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's like, I mean, there's one part. That
Oh no, it's a comedy. The whole thing
there's
is
definitely
it's a dark comedy, but it's a comedy.
Yeah.
It's very, yeah, it is. It has like its dark moments, its happy moments, which I think she's a phenomenal actress.
She
I
is
thought they
amazing.
both did amazing.
I think so. I really am. I'm like, I mean, I know we talked about it on the last show, but that full frontal scene where he's literally Tommy Lee is talking to his erect penis in his reflection in the mirror, and it's animated and has like it's like something that Disney might have on Pirates of the Caribbean. Like
They had
well, not Disney.
They
but
had like 2
adult
quote
Disney.
unquote engineers. For
Yes,
that.
I'm sure they.
And I was like, "Are you kidding?" There was like makeup artists, like all
yeah.
this stuff. Because I had to look it up. I was like, "All right, is that really his penis or not?"
No.
I was curious.
Oh my gosh,
I was-
Christy, what do you think penises do?
Well, I don't know. Well, not the.
They don't talk.
No, I know that they don't talk, but I mean the first scene where he's just like hanging low, like you wonder.
Oh right.
So I was like, all right. But then with the animated one, they did that because of his. I don't know if you already talked about this because of I think whatever Tommyland was. I can't remember. I read about that. Tommyland. There has like his dick is like a huge figure in there. So it was like I don't know. It was
When
a
that
nod
sex-
to Tommyland.
Tommy's known for his
When the
penis.
tape came out, I mean, literally, this was still back in like I feel like it was the VHS days. It was a long time ago.
1995.
Yeah, when that sex tape came out, I remember. I mean, I was a freshman in college, and it was like all anybody could talk about. It took the world over. It felt like, and the size of Mr. Lee's is that his real name?
Mr.
Tommy
Lee.
Lee, probably not.
Oh, wait,
But
Tommy Lee-
the size
Tommy
of his
Lee something.
package was definitely part of the story. Like
Yeah.
I think they're just trying to be accurate and sort of they're poking fun at the sort of cultural absurdity of it all and how it took over. Like, and so they're making a point like, oh, we're going to have him talk to his weenie. I mean, it's really
His
funny.
weenie.
Weird. Oh,
I think it's clever.
Thomas Lee Bass.
Ah, yes.
Would you say that
Thomas Lee. Tommy Lee.
destroyed her career a little bit, or would you say that it kind of helped out?
Well, what was interesting is everything that she made after that, and I'm no movie whiz here. I've just seen her stuff. Everything she made in Babe Watch, she was supposed to have like this monologue scene that they talk about in there, where that was kind of like she'd practiced this. She was really excited. Like Tommy was super proud of her, and they cut it because like she's like this hot girl, and she
Yeah,
wants
they're
to be
like,
seen
no,
as a-
just run in slow motion again.
Yeah, they're like just run if you
I mean,
want.
that's the kind of thing that she does appear sympathetic in the telling of the story. So the real Pamela Anderson, who I know has problems with this, I mean, maybe there's some solace and some comfort there that they're not, that scene where she's acting, she's good.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't know, when you saw it, I thought it was happening. Like when Lily James, the actress, was doing the monologue, they come in on it as if it's happening. They don't show you that she's doing a monologue.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, things got serious. Like she's screaming at Tommy now about his kid or something, whatever the monologue was. And it was good. So the takeaway for me was, oh, could Pamela Anderson really act? Like,
Yeah.
Because Barbed Wire was the only movie I ever saw with her, and Baywatch. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure she always seems to play herself, like this really beautiful sex symbol.
Yeah.
But maybe she could act.
I know, she probably could have. I think that people get like, for example, I watched an interview with Megan Fox, and she was like hilarious in it. Before she was watching old interviews of herself, which I think is hilarious. They were like, she's like super young on a red carpet, like, yeah, I really want to break out into like really amazing acting roles where I'm not like this sexy girl, and she's cackling now, like 15 years later, being like, little did you know. I think when they kind of wedge you sometimes in somewhere, that's what I mean. I'm not in
Typecast.
yeah. You probably might have any idea there.
Like with the typecasting stuff?
Yeah, just kind of like when you're in an industry.
Yeah, if it works for you, most people.
Yeah.
And I hope and pray to God this doesn't happen with me, but like most people just stick in that, and just because it works for them, then they're paying the bills.
Yeah.
Gets
You
them
know
the
what I mean?
jobs.
Well, I mean, maybe, people have to eat. So it's not
Yeah,
necessarily
yeah.
there's artistic integrity, and there's also like just the practical matter of feeding yourself and paying your mortgage.
Yeah. But also, like, what's his name? Michael Jaleel White, the guy who plays Urkel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Jaleel White.
he's tried so many other roles,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody just sees him as Urkel. So there's that part too, you know.
Especially if you get branded a child star as something. I mean, that is a hard mold to break. So few have. Drew Barrymore successfully navigated those waters.
Yes.
I think the Fanning sisters have, but like, I mean, just think about how many, you know, like even the first being typecast, I guess is the topic here, but like the gentleman who plays in the original Star Wars, Luke Skywalker. What's that act?
Mark Hamill.
Yes. I mean, have you ever seen him in anything else?
He's the Joker on the Batman the Animated Series. He's the voice of the Joker. That's all I know.
That is why we have you here.
Yeah, he's like, I'm working out all the facts.
I would not have known that. Fun fact about that. I barely have seen Star Wars.
There's
That's so sad, but it's true.
and a lot of like
Yeah.
I know Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, they're in Harry Potter. People
Yes.
don't know that.
Oh, they
have
broke-
both
yeah.
discussed like how hard it is for them to get roles because they go into an audition and
Harry
they're like,
Potter.
"You're Harry Potter. Like you can't be anyone else."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, speaking
Could
of
you do a
the
spell for us?
Let me get my sorting cap.
Speaking of, if you guys can find on YouTube, please Google this. I had a friend who was at Brown with Emma Watson, and it was a huge auditorium. You can type in Brown Emma Watson and find this video, and it is so funny. She does not find it funny, but I did. So she gets up in this huge lecture hall, answers
can
this
see where this is
question,
going.
right? And someone was like, 30 points for Gryffindor. And she grabs her book, slams it down. She's like, are you kidding me? And she just grabs her stuff and exits the auditorium.
I'm sorry. That is funny.
I thought
That
it
is
was
brilliant.
hilarious. I
Oh my
watched
God.
it.
She's
like,
got to laugh about that.
I thought it was pristine. I watched it like 20 times. I was like cackling at my computer. But I'm also
So
like,
funny.
that made you probably like millions of dollars. But she is just like studying. But it's so good.
30 points for Gryffindor.
That's
Interesting.
hilarious.
That's amazing.
I think it's so cool when child actors go take a break in their career and go to college. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
it's
the
really
Sprouse
important.
brothers.
It's like a huge, you know. I mean, I also support people who that's not their path. I mean, but if it's something that you've always wanted to do, why should your success in this industry or some industry prevent it?
Yeah. Well, and too, learning. I'm all about that. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
you should never stop learning, whether it's college, Skillshare. There's a million platforms you can learn
Yes.
on. And like I
Like
take-
masterclass. How much do we love
masterclass.
that?
Oh, I
Yeah.
love me some masterclass. I'm on there like pretending with the people as they're cooking. He's like, clean as you go, and I'm like wiping everything down. I'm like, yes, I will. I will clean as I go.
Oh, I love culinary tips. How come every time I follow a recipe, it's like the prep time is 5 minutes? For who? Like Flash Gordon? Like it takes me 5 minutes just to find out where my stuff is. Maybe I should if I cook more often.
You're like, where is that bowl?
It is a joke. It is like, what is that? Sarcasm? Like, what is this? This is going to take me 2 hours to do this no matter what it is. It could just be pasta and it'll take me forever.
You're like, I do love that though. What I think is interesting is who makes all these recipes, like a whole bunch of bloggers and stuff do.
Right.
My thing is the pictures. You get this picture and you're like, oh my God, I am going to make
It's
this
so delicious.
like
Look at
French
that.
onion soup. And it's going to be in this cast iron. I look at mine and I'm like, it's French onion soup, but that's ugly. Like
That what you're describing is the entire basis of the Netflix hit show Nailed It. You know
Really?
that show?
No, I haven't watched that one.
Oh my gosh, with Nicole. What is the host's name? She's so funny.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, let's look it up because I want to be able to give her a shout out. But the show is literally the essence of the show is that they have to make something like that looks like this, and then they show you what they made, and it's always like this intricate cake with like this Lego cake with perfectly little drawn characters, and someone's some professional did it, and then they have to get their ingredients and make it the best they can, and each one just looks like more ridiculous than the next, like the pile of goop and stuff. Nailed It on. You've seen this?
No, I need
It's
to
a
look this
baking
up.
contest show on Netflix that is. Watch, I'm gonna pull this up.
Okay, you got to pull it up.
Yes.
Speaking of Netflix stuff, I have to talk about this one because it was just epic. So, have you guys seen Tinder Swindler?
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my!
Yes.
I am not okay. I was obsessed. Unfortunately, this is like the down. This was the bad part of it. So our sound stopped working for some reason. And I do not watch subtitles. Refuse. I'm dyslexic. I refuse to read more than I have to. I straight up watch the entire thing, no sound.
You're like,
Wait, what happens? I haven't heard of it.
you gotta watch
What's
this.
it called?
Oh my gosh,
Tinder
Tinder
Swindler.
By the way,
Swindler.
here's the Nailed It picture. That's the cake they were supposed to make, and then that's what she
That
made.
I love that.
Stop.
It's really like kind of like Pinterest versus reality moment.
Right. For anybody listening on the podcast, they were supposed to be making a beautiful it looks like a Rapunzel cake where their hair was coming down at this really pristine castle and ended up looking like just like a really messy volcano oozing yellow lava, and that was her hair.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so I have to fill you in. Tinder swindler. So essentially, this guy is a number one. He's a very small, which I digress from that, but he is a small little man, and he is on Tinder. Tinder. He is
banned from other dating apps.
Yes.
The Tinder swindler.
Yes.
Oh, he's kind of handsome.
He actually blocked me because I sent him a message on Instagram. What up? And
Shut up.
hey, I had to know. I
All
was
right,
like, hey,
I'm sending this to you, Mariah.
Were you like,
So
hey,
good.
I'm in trouble. I need your help. Like,
I was like, hey, this is super weird. I'm in the back of like I have to like tell you what happens. Otherwise, you guys are gonna be like, what the hell? So this guy goes on Tinder with all these bougie pictures. He's wearing like Fendi, Gucci, all these designer brands, and luxury automobiles, private planes. He's flying all over the world. So he hooks these girls in and will, like, I don't know, take them on lavish trips, dinners, just be flying in for the night. And somehow will get his claws into each individual girl to, there we go.
there he is.
Also, tiny little man. Like,
But in fairness, very handsome. You could see why women want to believe his stories because he's very chiseled looking, right? It's got a sort of boy next door, clean cut look going.
we got to put him next to somebody.
Yeah.
And then you quite get the dimensions.
Who does he
and
look
it
like
just
for people
really-
listening? He looks like
I don't know. He's
who's
like,
the guy married to Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Freddie Prinze.
Freddie Prinze Jr. He looks a little bit like Freddie Prinze Jr.
He's like, that's my cousin, guys. Don't be rude to him.
Simon, his name is Simon Leviev.
Yes.
He's
Is
over
it
18.
really, though?
He's
Is
the
it really?
Tinder
I think
swindler.
So his name's Simon
So funny.
Leviev, apparently. And what he does to women is he gets his claws in them and will start asking them for money, and does this with so many women at the same time that's how he's actually funding this lifestyle. He doesn't have a job. He posed as this guy's son, who's like this huge diamond mogul, and photoshopped himself in. I knew it was a photoshopped image, so come on, ladies. But I digress.
I mean, this is some people's hero. Like, there are some guys out. I'm not saying it's the right way to live or be, and it's super shady, but there are a lot of guys out there who's like, this man managed to. He's figured out how to make a living.
Off of dating.
Off of dating, exactly.
My one thing that like I do give him props for is he had so many girls on the line at once.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I was in college and dating around, I was like, yeah, Carl, how's like football? He's like, I don't play football. And I could like not keep I couldn't keep people
Wow,
like in line, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, hey, everybody's got their phase. Simon just decided to make a career out of his.
Yeah.
I
And
swear this guy looks familiar. Like, I feel like I've met him.
He's like, actually, I went on a date with this guy last week.
Hey, maybe he's gonna move to the gay sites now that all the straight ones kicked him off.
Probably.
Because
he might.
this story on TMZ is literally Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, Hinge, and Match.com all get together.
Yeah.
Meetic, Pairs. I didn't even know there were so many dating websites.
And they've all kicked
They've
him
all
off.
permanently banned him from all their properties, leaving him without any options when it comes to scamming women.
I love it.
That is the focus point.
But
he needs to
also-
go scam some men.
This is my thing.
kidding.
As a woman, we will talk about like scammers in a later episode. As a woman, it's all of these like red flags were more like red billboards or red trains or maybe a red house. And there was like, they're like, oh, it was just so weird. He's so nice. And then he's like sending me these pictures and he says my name a lot. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why? I don't know. No one.
Although, I mean, we are all about equity here, and we say what's real. And I mean, this is not a route that many women haven't taken with a rich man that, like there's entire sites, like sugarbabies.com. There's entire websites dedicated to finding a very gifty. What is that?
they're
A
like-
very generous.
But they're for that.
But
boyfriend
they're
or
for that
girlfriend.
when you're signing up,
Right.
know
No.
you're
I'm not
signing up.
defending this
Yeah.
guy. I'm not defending this guy. What I'm saying though is what he's doing is, I mean, it's odd for a man to do it. I feel like in general, although I
Yeah.
do feel like a lot more guys these days like are going Dutch, and maybe there's more equity there. I'm not sure, but I just think that
Classic
the
equity.
idea, like here's be a good story. Why don't we go find women that dated the Tinder swindler, Please step forward. You said you blocked him, right?
He blocked me.
Oh. You're like, I've got product. I mean, I just feel like we need to talk to those women and see what they say, see how they got duped, see if they even felt like, I mean, maybe
Oh no, they go into, so each like girl that he's, I mean, there's so many more, but they go into like their story from like start to finish on like how they knew it was fraudulent, how he would get like bank cards in their name.
Oh, this is
and
crime
then use
then, at
them.
that point.
Oh, it was 100% crime.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah.
I thought he was just
$10 million
lying and showing himself in this
No,
fancy
no,
light
no.
to get people to buy him
He
presents.
got
Like-
over like $10 million.
Oh my gosh.
God.
God.
Oh,
And
he's
so-
fully a thief then.
And
What's it-
these
what is this one
girls
again?
still have to pay the money back.
Yeah, he didn't have to pay any of it.
So they have to pay each dime. Like one girl, I think was like $250,000, and she's still paying it. They're all still paying it off.
Oh
to this day.
no! Okay, sorry. I should have read the story deeper before I had opinions.
Yeah,
yeah.
but
This guy is
it's-
a tool.
What's so interesting. So he went to jail for 6 months for, I can't remember,
Only 6 months.
which is crazy to me.
And
But
he doesn't owe anyone money? Or
no,
like,
because I mean
He was released
did
after 5 months.
or 5 months.
Oh,
yeah.
and sent back to Israel.
Yeah.
That's where he served time. He was eventually arrested in 2019 and sent back to Israel, where he was released after just 5 months in prison.
Which is crazy. I mean, and too, he's back at it. Like, go on his gram. I can't look him up right now, but if you guys,
She's blocked.
I just sent him. I wanted to know if like there was anything in like not factual, and they reached out to him for comment.
Right.
So I reached out to all the girls that were on the show, and because I was like, "Hello, I want you on my podcast. What's going on?" And they sent me to their PR team. Of course, they're booked out the yin yang for probably 25 years to come. But they, like the girls aren't in contact, but you can look up his Instagram.
What's his last name again?
Simon Levy. Yeah, I'll have to let me see if I can
Here
go.
it is. That's how you spell it.
so he's just doing his thing again?
And he's back at it. He's with the cars. He has a new girlfriend that they reached out to for comment, like all this stuff. And of course, he's like parading all around.
Yeah.
Oh, he has a fan
Simon.
page and all that. Wow.
and
Yeah.
now it's a Netflix movie.
But it makes me sad in the sense that I hope that this doesn't inspire other people to go out and do this, because that's just, you're like, oh, really?
Oh my gosh.
Not.
Now I'm wondering, was I looking at the actor playing him or was I looking at him? Now I've got to be sure.
Oh.
He's like,
Okay.
we are
I
not
think
sure.
it was-
Yeah, I can't
We're
look.
deep. Yeah, we're all the fact checkers, by the way. Did they take the day off?
They might have. Yeah, but definitely Simon. I was honestly, a lot of people that came after him and tagged him in all the stories. I get if you want to block. I was just asking if there was in things that were not factual. Not that I would necessarily believe him, but I wanted to open a dialogue.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
to see, you know.
And he was like, no.
He was like, absolutely not. He's like, this bitch is blocked. So he's like,
What was your opening line, Christy? Hey, you got cool stuff.
oh my gosh, love
Let me
the
look at your
car.
cool stuff.
Would love to join. To be honest, I feel like he's probably going to get a lot of fame out of this. And people are going, all the guys are going to be like,
Yeah,
oh my
no.
gosh, this is amazing. But the way he did, props,
Well, I said that, by the way, before I knew he was a criminal.
yeah,
Like, I
he
thought
is a
was
criminal.
just
But I
being
feel
a-
like people might try to like replicate his ways.
I hope
Yeah.
not, because
I
that's
hope
just
not.
that's just ridiculous and disgusting. Like,
Yeah, but what he would do, so like to give you a little backstory, he would get like woman A to book him a flight to go see another girl. And then he would use money, like funnel that
Oh my
money from them to like pay for their dinner. So that girl thinks, oh my gosh, I'm being like I'm being taken out, all these things, and it's actually another woman's money. So he like had kind of an intricate system to where at some point these girls are going to figure it out, and how long is it going to take them, to where he must have had this all mapped out with like facts per person.
Right. Which is, it just makes it that much more like easy to hate him a
I
little bit,
know,
because
but
it's so
also-
manipulative and it's premeditated.
Yeah, and he used the exact, what I thought was less creative. He used the exact same story for every single girl, like everything that he was doing. And I'm like, you know, with like, I don't, maybe he could be an actor. Like he lied to enough people.
That was a hell of a role.
It was the role of his life. And I don't know, like maybe there could be something for you, Simon. I don't know what it is. And I pray that like, I don't know. I pray someone scams him.
There's a whole gallery of him on TMZ. Actually, you know, it was the guy, it wasn't the actor. But, and here's what's an interesting twist. When you look at the Netflix trailer for the Tinder swindler, the way they cut the trailer is they don't show him. They're just showing the impact that he had on all the women, which is kind of brilliant. I like that.
I
And
want to do a
there's
spoof on this. Like, I
Yeah.
so want to do like a skit. or
This is
something.
for sure going to end up on
know.
SNL.
Yeah, the only thing is girls out there, let's not give random men
Yes.
money.
Yeah.
Let's like not do that. Not take out a
I would say
card
that's
in the
fair
name.
advice for all people.
All
Yeah.
people, yes.
Just don't give random people money until you're vetted them and checked them out.
Yes, or and don't give them your card information. There was just a lot.
But
There's a
even
lot.
when they like Googled him, you know, while they were like with him, they found all this stuff that said he was a billionaire's son. So it's like he had all of his bases covered.
He
You know
even
what I
like
made
made a fake Wikipedia page and all that.
All that stuff. Like he had
Oh my-
everything covered.
Yeah, but then if you did like a deep search on, I don't know at that time, but I mean, obviously now it's like buck wild crazy, but they still like some of the girls, even in the show, after doing deeper research, they were able to see that he was a fraud and this was happening everywhere. And he was doing like wild stuff.
I wonder if there is like a psychological condition where people that invest this much time in creating this false identity actually believe it.
Oh,
Like,
I'm sure that he like does.
yeah.
That this is probably like in his head, maybe like a means for survival.
right.
I don't know. And too, he had other people in on it, like a bodyguard and all these other people. What was strange, the weirdest thing of it, I think, was that is actually, if you watched, he has an ex-wife and a child that come in there. That's actually his ex-wife and actually his child that they confirmed. That so this one girl,
Wow.
one of the first girls that they bring in, I think, they take a private plane to some place and they're all together and she's like asking her questions and chatting with her and all this stuff, and that's really his wife. So that's crazy. If she knew about it and was just, and he said that he was like financially supporting them. So
She was at the trial she was at the trial, and later on came out when he got out, they got back together and all that. So yeah, it's like she was in on it the whole time.
that's wild.
Yeah.
Insane. The plot thickens.
Yeah.
Well, okay, some more Valentine's Day stuff, and then we will wrap up Casey and Connect Corner. I feel like we went a little bit everywhere today, but I love that for us. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys percentages. Before, like pre-pandemic, how many people out of 100% do you think went out to dinner for Valentine's Day? Like of the people who went out.
Like globally or in the United States?
United States.
So this is fun. I love these kind of questions. What percentage of American households celebrated Valentine's Day
Day.
with dinner? Specifically went out to
Yeah,
dinner?
like going out to dinner.
I would say like 30%. That seems like a lot too, though. That's like 100 million people.
I would guess more.
A little bit more. Maybe, right?
I feel like I must be. Am I thinking too high? I was thinking a lot.
No, I think maybe I'm thinking too
I
I was
low.
gonna say.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yes, we
Yeah.
need a drum roll on that thing.
Oh, wait, is there a drum roll on
There
here?
isn't.
Nah.
We'll do one ourselves.
Ting, 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 ting. It was, okay, who knows how I looked this up on Google, so we'll see, but it was 69% pre-pandemic, and then now it's 43%, which that's a pretty drastic drop.
Of people who celebrate Valentine's Day.
Day.
Okay, God. That's not a national. I thought
Of
you were asking
people.
how many people in the total country did it. But of people who celebrate,
Valentine's
how many of
Day.
them chose to celebrate with dinner? Okay, I
Yeah.
see. So actually, for people who celebrate, 6 out of 10, or what, 69,000?
Yeah.
So 7.
Or no, sorry, 69% was pre-pandemic, and now it's 43%.
Wow. So people are not ready to go back
the
to dinner
drop.
yet.
No.
That no, it's true. The pandemic.
Overarching, not ready for dinner.
Not ready for dinner.
Definitely.
I don't think that was that funny, but it is. But it is true. I mean, I wouldn't.
makes it funnier.
I don't know if other people feel this way, but I'm all vaxxed up and boosted up the wazoo. And even when I go to church, I'm like, "That's good. That's 6 feet, Jesus." Stay back. I'm just kidding. I do every time I'm anywhere near a crowd right these days. I get that feeling in my belly, like,
Yeah.
should I be this close to other people?
I
So
also think it's like a comfort thing too, at least in my perspective. Like when you spent as long as we have kind of staying indoors and like used to getting takeout because it's like you don't go in anywhere.
those
Now
muscles
it's
have
like-
atrophied.
Yeah, it's like, well, I actually
All my pickup
really,
muscles.
yeah, like it and I'm comfortable. It's more,
Right.
it's like there's a fun aspect to takeout and like that whole thing. So I think maybe it's also the comfortability of like what we got used to during pandemic.
And they've said, like Etsy said, there's been a 10% decrease over like every single year since 2009. with like celebrating Valentine's Day. They even had emails they'd send out to people to opt out if they don't want to see Valentine's Day emails.
Really?
Which was an extremely high percentage. I don't have it, but like a majority of people opted out to not see any type of Valentine's Day stuff.
I don't know about all that. That seems like I liked your idea of reframing it. If you don't have a lover and you don't have romance around, you have friends, you have family, you can celebrate love in all sorts of different ways. You know what would be a good tradition? Maybe we'll do this at Mod Pod is like taking, a sack lunch with a Valentine in it and handing it out to the unhoused.
Yeah.
That's spreading love. And maybe they do or don't have a Valentine, but it seems like a good tradition.
Yeah.
I just came up with that.
I like
Let's
that.
do that.
Yeah. And too, okay, this was like something I used to always do in Oregon. I'm sure Mariah is like accustomed, but there's like Dutch Brothers there or like Starbucks, different coffee companies, and around the holidays, and like did it on Valentine's Day once. You'd buy the drink for the person behind you, and they had it once go for 2
Yes,
weeks.
I saw a news story about that. It went like 900 customers or something.
Yeah, and I mean, they used to do it all the time.
All the time.
We'd have it like
Thanksgiving, Christmas, every holiday.
Every
really.
single holiday
Right.
they would do it. And I think they would start it out and then have people do it. But I always thought that was really cute, especially like on holidays when, like either people might not be with family with pandemic stuff. I always feel like that's such an easy little thing that you can do, and that instantly brightens someone's day.
One time I did that, and they were like, just so you know, there's a lot of people in the car behind you, and they got a lot of food. And I was like, oh, well, I can't say no. I can't take it back now.
I did that once, and they bought like my coffee, which was like $4.95, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I'll take care of their bill. And they're like, all right, that's going to be $46.50.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, $4.60.
You're like,
They're like
what?
$45.60.
This is a coffee shop?
Wait, so you have to buy everybody's coffee in the car behind you?
Well, that's the hack.
Well-
Maybe don't do the car because
Yeah,
I just like
that seems dangerous.
I
The
just
people
like
behind.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
swiped the card. I was like excited for them, and then I was like, wait, what?
It is fun to give people stuff though that they don't. I mean, there's no joy that you feel like surprising someone with a gift that they like weren't expecting.
Yeah.
I love that feeling.
But I think like while being home, a lot of companies have pivoted their marketing strategies to be more takeout friendly. Same with like Absolute did like cocktails for home that you can order. And a lot of places are partnering with brands like Uber Eats. So you can get, like, I'm not kidding, I send flowers on Uber Eats. I send like a ton of stuff to people because I know it'll go directly to their door, and it's pretty reliable. So there's like a lot of things that I feel like people can do just using the app. Like Mariah said, you're more comfortable at home. Now, canned cocktails, things that are ready to go.
Have you guys heard of Drink from Home?
Yes, I invented that.
No,
what is Drink from Home?
I was like, is that a club? Because I've definitely joined.
Is that part of the breakfast wine club? Because that was
It's
Morning
like,
margarita.
morning
like-
margaritas.
I mean, essentially, it's okay. If you guys watch Vanderpump, Ariana from Vanderpump Rules created this company, and it's like a subscription box, but it's cocktail. It's like you get it once a month, and it's
I
a new
love that,
recipe. It's a cocktail mix or kit. Sorry, kit.
That's cute. My
Yeah.
mom did that for me and my boyfriend for Christmas. She did cheese of the month, and you get sent like 3 cheeses in a box. And I was like, don't need that for my dairy intolerance, but I will be participating.
I just love, and then don't go on vacation because that cheese will be outside for a week, and you're like, oh, that's
my
terrible to
gosh.
come home to.
That is actually worst case scenario. I'm sure it will come while I'm on.
And we did First Leaf back when I was drinking. I don't drink anymore, but when we, for I think for like a full year we did it. First Leaf, where they give you this whole selection of wines every month, which was really nice. You can choose how many bottles you want, and it is it exposes you to all these great varietals that you never heard of. It's good for the connoisseur. That's why I like that drink in a box. Right?
That is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it would introduce you to new ideas and new recipes
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. So that was pretty much my little marketing spiel of
Yeah.
all things Valentine's Day. Shall
excited.
we wrap this bad boy up?
I'm excited. Yeah,
Like,
send us
all
into
right.
mindful moment, honey.
Okay, we are going to send you into a mindful moment. If you want to give me a follow, it is down below, and we will see you next week.
right. I hope you guys enjoyed that mindful moment and quote from Sammy Davis Jr. Go ahead and pull that up again. Let me read it there. Being a star has made it possible for me to get insulted in places where the average Negro could never hope to go to get insulted. Sammy Davis Jr. That quote from Sammy Davis Jr., a great American entertainer. And happy Black History Month, everybody. That's why we're doing quotes and mindful moments from wonderful people from Black history. So now we are shifting gears. It was perfect. How much do we love Christy McInnes? Yay, Christy.
Man.
This is for you. Good job. She brings the most colorful, interesting, and sort of the stories that get you talking. I
That's
love
true.
good water
She
cooler
definitely
stories.
does,
Yeah. And now we are going to hopefully talk about some more of those stories in this next chat. Oh, but before we do, let's do this. Somebody's arrived. Somebody we love and someone we know very well. It's Angelica Herman. Woohoo! Everybody put your hands together for the sexy psychic. Hi, Angelica.
Can you hear me? Oh, yes.
People are starting to know what like a scene it is in here during the mindful moments.
It is a scene.
When people are running around, switching seats, coming up to the desk. You swapped with Christy. Your show's coming up here at 4.
Yes. I still have my morning voice.
You do.
I've been up since 5 a.m. and this is how I've sounded all morning.
And this is live, people. If you're
And
watching on the
day.
East Coast at 6 p.m., it's dinner time. It is 3 here in gorgeous
Angelica, just
Pasadena,
bring your mic down a
California.
little. It's covering your face a little bit.
There we go.
Goodness.
Oh, we got to show the goods.
Hey, so
Can't hide that beautiful face.
how's
It
that?
is a beautiful face.
Okay. Thank you.
So for this entertainment block, I thought what better way to start off than with our local entertainer here, our very own movie star in the making and very hard-working, paid-working actor on TV and probably online as well, right? DeMarcus Eckford! Woohoo! Everybody's getting the applause they deserve today.
Just got an audition notification.
Right on.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm on fire, man.
So tell us about it, because you've got multiple ads out, right?
Yes, I have a Fat Burger commercial out, a non-alcoholic beverage called Clean Co, and Carvana just came out.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
This is, as someone who's known you a very long time and seen the work that you've put in, the hours, the dedication, it's so heartwarming. Like genuinely, I get goosebumps when I think about it. And it's only a matter of time till something comes along scripted on TV, and we're gonna all get together and watch you.
Oh, I can't
talk
wait.
about it here.
I can't wait. It's been it'll be 12 years this year that I've been
Wow.
at this.
See?
12 years.
The struggle is real, people. If this is something that I love from years of being a celebrity journalist and reporter and entertainer, well, not entertainer, entertainment news reporter, is that the common thread amongst the people that were really working in the business, it's that just dedication. Like you cannot ever give up, because if you do, there's just too many people there that aren't giving up, they're talented.
Just waiting. They're waiting.
Yeah, it's just, and the city's filled with talented people. That's the thing. It's not like talent alone. It's like, oh, I'm a good actor, so I'm going to go work as an actor. It's not like that. You have to be, talent is like the entry, like just to get in the room. And now you actually have to kind of have a brand these days. A lot of companies probably want you to have a following.
Yes, and that's like a good and bad thing,
Right.
Because they're looking for you to. If you have a big, huge following, then they're thinking, okay, well, he's going to pull in some numbers for us for this movie or this commercial or whatever. But if you don't have a huge following, sometimes that determines if you get an audition or not.
Right.
So
Oh yeah, that's true. They want an unknown. They want a fresh face. Yeah, that makes sense. So, do we have the Fat Burger ad?
We have all the
Oh,
ads.
let's watch some.
We have all the commercials.
And they're probably not very long, so we can just listen, and then you can tell us what's up.
Here we go with the Fat Burger commercial.
Dang, bro. Mama!
Delicious, no?
Come on! What the?
Fat Burger. We have confirmation that it's a giant fat burger over the city. Civilians have been asked to grab napkins and shelter at their dining tables.
Oh my God, that looks so good. I'm hungry now. I did the job.
Yeah.
That was
So
awesome. So you were being attacked by a giant space burger.
Yes, I mean that's the idea. Got a free burger that day too.
Did you?
Nice.
Shout out to Fat Burger.
Just the one, but
Just
that
the
was
one.
fun. Any secrets from the set?
It was very, very hot.
Oh, was it?
And I sat in that car for a good 3 hours.
Oh man.
Was it like green screen or were you actually on a street?
No, I was
that
actually at a Fat Burger location
Oh.
in Sherman Oaks behind,
Mm-hmm.
like in the lot, in the parking lot. And they had like I forget what they're called, but they kept shifting.
The reflectors.
The reflector,
Mm-hmm.
thank you. And they kept shifting that. And I mean, the sun was just hitting my face
Yeah.
at certain points.
You looked amazing.
Thank you.
Did they
Thank
have
you.
to keep sending in hair and makeup to dry you off?
Not
'Cause-
hair, but
Yeah.
makeup.
All right. Don't touch my hair.
But, well, she kept saying, "This is just perfect. This is just perfect. This is just okay." I was sweating a lot though. I was sweating, so they had to keep bringing her back in for that. But it was very fun. The director was amazing. I hope I get to work with him again. But yeah, that was
that's such a classic
Yeah,
actor thing
that
to
was
say.
so-
I
I
love the
know,
director. I
that
hope I
was
get to work
really
with him again.
it was a small crew, very small crew.
Right.
You know, but
So cool.
That's cool. And then, is it such the case, like they say this in Hollywood all the time, that once it rains, it pours? After all the work, now that you hit one, then more calls come in and more auditions, more opportunities.
yes, and actually that wasn't my that's my first big one.
Mm-hmm.
I did one for for online like ad for a credit union or something about
Right.
2 years ago now, and after that's when things started to pick up.
Got
you
it.
know.
I love that.
But since that commercial, it's like it's been every week. It's like at least 4.
What about the
Wow.
car? What ad do you have up next? Is this a
Clean
drink?
Co. It's
Clean Co.
non-alcoholic beverage.
Oh, this is interesting to me.
Looks pretty cool.
Pay attention to the guy you see at the end
Will
or
do.
towards the end. You're gonna recognize him.
Here's to non-alcoholic cocktails with Clean Co. And
The 6 a.m. hike I've rescheduled 6 times.
The EOD that just won't E.
Last year's New Year, new tag. Just don't.
And to finally sing an after party.
here's to you and why you drink Clean Co. For your reason,
Oh my gosh, how excited is Eric Roberts that he got to co-star with DeMarcus Eckford in that commercial?
I actually saw
Holla.
him. I saw him in the office today when we were doing the fittings.
Mm-hmm.
He walks in, and I'm like, oh my god, like. But you gotta compose yourself. You can't
Exactly.
just.
Yeah, he's definitely worked for years and years and years. He's from a
yeah.
very famous Hollywood family. Julia Roberts, Emma Roberts, Eric Roberts. And then now your third, is this Carvana?
This is Carvana. If you blink, you're gonna miss me.
That's okay. I never blink.
Did I tell you I bought our car from Carvana?
Yeah, Ma.
It was so easy. I found the perfect car.
Under budget, too. And I get 7 days to love it or my money back. I love it! I thought online meant no one to help me. But Susan from Carvana
Had all the answers.
she didn't try to upsell me. Not once. Because they're not salespeople. Where do you guess who just checked in on me?
Mom.
Susan from Carvana.
We'll drive you.
Woohoo! Yay, DeMarcus. I just love celebrating success, you know, especially when it's someone I love, someone I've known for a long time. I think that, gosh, what else would I want to do on this show but do something like that where we get to cheer each other on? And I know you're super excited about a few more things in the pipeline that you can't really talk about, but
yeah. We'll see what happens.
Yes.
Ooh.
Everybody that loves DeMarcus like we do, say a little prayer.
I have a question for you. Have you been recognized by your friends or people around town yet?
Not
For the
around town,
commercials?
but my friends. Yeah.
Everybody in LA is too cool to say that they recognize anybody.
Right?
But you go to Wisconsin, oh, they love Fat Burger there, and they will. He's a hero in the streets.
Right.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah. My friends, they'll call me up. Why didn't you tell me you were doing this? And I'm
Right.
like, why did I didn't know I had to. Like, been working hard, man.
You're like, set your notifications.
Right.
Anytime DeMarcus is on TV, you get a bing. So the entertainer, our friend and our little family member here at GGT, thank you for sharing your story of success
You're
with
very
us.
welcome.
We are grateful for that. And we are going to lead right now into some more entertaining talk because there's a lot of stuff happening on television right now that I'm a very big fan of entertainment and TV. I think people know that, right? Everybody here kind of is in the same world. I think I got into entertainment news as a profession just to give myself an excuse to watch movies for free or get paid for it. which has been kind of an awesome career, if I'm being honest. So DeMarcus attacks Hollywood. That's our first story. This next story is really meaningful, and in the whole rainbow spectrum from the Rainbow Press would come from our Life Red section, because it very much relates to the LGBTQ plus family, and that is that the historic show Star Trek Discovery, which is on Paramount Plus, has added a storyline where a trans and non-binary characters fall in love. Let me pull this up because I want to be sure I'm accurate about it. There they are. The latest Star Trek Discovery includes a storyline that viewers have almost certainly never seen before in a major television series. It's the love interest here of this non-binary character, a human named Adira, and a trans character, a Trill, which I'm assuming is a alien something from Star Trek, named Gray. And what's even better is these two performers who you see on screen right now are actually non-binary and trans in real life. And so it's not it would be hard to overstate how powerful this kind of thing is for representation in the community.
Yeah.
You know? There are some shows out there like Billions and Transgender and a handful, and they're anomalies, which is why we're able to list them so easily.
Sense8 has one.
Yeah,
as well.
Sense8. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That was good on Netflix. I remember that show. Yeah. Orange is the New Black as well, of course, with Laverne Cox. But it would be really great to see that kind of representation everywhere, and on a series like the Star Trek ecosystem. Like it is a massive show. Like the fans of that brand
Trekkies?
Trekkies, like they have names.
Trekkies.
And a lot of them probably, this is like right up, sometimes I think people who are into science fiction sometimes tend to be a little bit more open-minded. If you find that entertaining, it's because your imagination is big and you can take in the content and you're not questioning it and all that. So it seems like a good fit for the characters on this show.
Yeah, I feel like it makes complete sense. And there is we're seeing more representation now, but in something that has been around for as long as it has, I think that's what's so cool about this is it's not, it's new, right? It's new, but this world, the Star Trek world, is old in our media, right?
That's right.
So adding diversity into something that probably should have already been diverse is really
right.
Yeah.
Well,
that
in
was
their
the nature of that.
This is not the first time Star Trek has stepped up. I know this series actually, back when I don't know when this launched. I did a story on this though. It was the first time that they showed a black female captain. So this show, Star Trek Discovery, it's a streaming series for Paramount Plus, right? Is it Paramount Plus?
Let me check.
Yeah, I'll make sure about that. I'm sure. Yeah, that sounds right. And so they're breaking barriers left and right, and they're getting the numbers. They've had multiple seasons out. All of these shows that
Do you think this is going to be something that's that'll fizzle out, or do you think it's going to grow?
No.
You're right. It's Paramount.
This is what we're doing.
Right.
We're part of this wave. This is here to stay. I feel it's a great question, by the way. If we felt that way before, I think a lot of times about representation. Another one of our clients, shout out to Women in Entertainment. We love you. Women in Entertainment, from years of working at events with me that, Gina Davis, the actress, is really involved with the equity of the genders on screen. She's starting with children with her organization and really trying to get more representation for girls. And it is just an uphill battle. It's like, and there's many times they'll say, and she's been cautious, cautiously optimistic that we're finally, when people like Jennifer Lawrence are coming up and saying, I'm not going to do this film unless everybody gets paid the same. Right. When Meryl Streep is at the Oscars or Golden Globes saying it's time, women need to be making more. And this is just women.
Yeah.
And and we're talking, trans, non-binary characters. This is great. I think that it's here to stay. Right. I really do. I just think there's too many artistic people who care too much about it now.
Yeah.
And the proof is in the pudding. At the end of the day, this is a business.
Yeah.
And women make money. Films featuring women, directed by women, they make money. Women go to the movies. Women are the number one purchaser of movie tickets. They buy more than any other, just consumables in general.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay. And so that's a big push for women. Now, obviously LGBTQ people that are featured in shows. Look at all these shows. Orange is the New Black, that was 7 seasons. Pose is at least 3 seasons. Billions is probably even 5 or 6 seasons. Star Trek. These shows that are featuring trans and non-binary characters are successful. They're making these are hit shows. And so, not to say that that's the only thing, but you can be successful and feature these stories. These people are in the world. People love, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but talk to me about that. Like, tell me, what does it feel like to see someone who represents you?
Oh my God, it feels,
it's
like
people that don't, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I just want to say it's something that you can easily take for granted.
Yeah.
Like, if part of your privilege includes looking at TV and always feeling represented, like, good job. Like, you're lucky, because that is not the case for a lot of people, especially like, for in my example, when I see something where men are embracing each other, kissing, or their love is being shown in a way that is not the focal point, but just they're humans, they're on the planet too, they're doing that, I get covered in goosebumps.
Yeah.
What has it been like for you? Because
I have to reference Black Panther when that came out, because throughout the years you've seen stuff like Blade with Wesley Snipes and stuff like that, but when that movie came out, I cried in the theater. I saw it like 3 or 4 times, and it felt so amazing just to see a person of color up there represented, and he's a lead. He's not like a sidekick. He's not like somebody that just pops in and out. He's a lead. It was amazing. That was a great feeling, and it actually boosted my confidence. You know what I mean? Instead of making me feel like, oh, you can't get up there, you can't do that. It's different. It's helpful, and it's
inclusion.
Yeah,
I mean, that is representation and
powerful.
inclusion. It absolutely is. It changes the world to know that there's other people like you in it. What about you, Mariah?
I'm getting emotional a little bit, just because I mean, going off to what DeMarcus is saying, like, I saw so many photos of like young Black boys dressed up as Black Panther, like going to see the movie, and like, I mean, this is coming from a viewer of this, but it's just so powerful. And Captain Marvel, when that came out, and I saw all these little girls like dressed up as Captain Marvel, and it was just like, it's so powerful to see the young kids like experiencing representation. It just like,
and then
it's a wave of emotion,
and have no idea of the sweat, tears, and years that went into the hard fight. That was
true.
to get that representation.
That's very true. Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy to me when I think about like 90 how many years of the Oscars, and 2 female directors have won.
Yeah, it's
and 88 men. It's just, and that's not even to get into people of color, and it's just great. I mean, look, the Golden Globes like freaking went under this year because of their lack of representation. So to answer that question about like, is this here to stay, or is it just a thing? I mean, I think the world is finally starting to wake up.
Yeah.
I think that the pandemic, having everybody at home, I think the Black Lives Matter movement really like woke us up. The fact that happened during the pandemic and everyone could actually get involved
and you're at home
and
watching
pay
it.
attention.
Yeah.
People who didn't touch directly, people who are privileged and have not had to struggle in that way, suddenly were home with their own weird new struggle, right? Being trapped inside all the time, and they could suddenly relate, like, and they're listening to these stories, and it's like, yeah, that guy shouldn't be kneeling on that person's neck like that. That's not right. Who cares what color his outfit is?
Yeah.
Who cares what badge he's wearing? You can't just kneel on someone's neck. It's very troubling. I think that snapped. I think the country, I feel like it can happen too. I feel like you can have a moment. I feel like I've had one of those moments lately where it's just been a turning point in my life where the things I once thought were important are not, and a whole new set of values that really feels like me is in place. And I see the country having a similar, and the world having a similar potential.
Right.
It's so, it can't be understated how much the world is changing in our lives.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
It's an awakening.
I mean, we have a little piece of machine. We have a little machine in our pants, in our pocket.
In your pants?
Well, I wear pants a lot. That, like, I'm talking about a phone.
Right.
That can connect you to the world, can buy you a plane ticket, can order you food, can, like, just think about it. And then we just go like this. It was like Minority Report. I remember when I saw that movie with Tom Cruise back in the day.
Now.
And they were walking by, and the ads would change based on who was walking by. That's coming. Based on our wearables and stuff. And it's just, it's kind of cool. It's a cool time to be alive. I'm so glad that the technology, for all the bad that's come with it, obviously there's lots, but the global communication of it is really what is, I think, the greatest turn. Like when they look back in history, this is communication era, the great, there's been the industrial era, there's been these huge inventions that have sort of changed. The invention of global communication through the internet has really what I think is going to ultimately bring more people together than anything.
Yeah.
Everything's in real time now, which is fascinating. We are seeing things as they're happening. Nobody's separated anymore. I mean, when there's a huge world event, we're watching it. And when we grow up, that wasn't the case. If there was a volcano exploding across the world, you would hear about it.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't be watching it while the people were running. I mean, like, this is where
watching
we're at.
it from actual citizens.
Yeah.
Versus like the news portraying something.
Which is also for good and for bad. Like, I mean, the fact that, video cameras, like, that has changed the world.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't have had BLM without video recordings.
You're right.
I mean, we wouldn't have a lot of stuff. Like, if you think about it, it's just like that witness. I also think sometimes when I'm watching old movies, like how easy it would have been to be a criminal, like in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like before, like nowadays you assume you're being seen, right?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Everywhere. There's cameras everywhere. Really.
I mean, we were just talking about Pam and Tommy. The fact that he was able to literally, I don't know if that scene in the show is actually similar to what happened, but the way that he broke into the house, walks through the house, their security light turned on. He was like rolling I can't even imagine how heavy that safe weighed. And I'm like, if that happened today, you would be caught in literally a snap.
And also, if your house is so big that you can be robbed while you're in it and not know,
get a smaller house.
True. That's a thing.
I'm just kidding.
True.
I have no judgment against people and how they live as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. So this is great. We actually have people chatting. Hi, Dynamos, over here on YouTube. There's some folks writing in a different language. Welcome. We appreciate that. We love having you here. Hi, Christina. Hi, Jennings Nash. Hi, everybody.
Really quick, can I add one thing about representation? Because we were talking about Broad City earlier.
You can add more than one thing. And Mariah, you're running the show.
Well, it just had me thinking about, like, representation versus, like, for example, like making a whole entire like show or episode strictly about this person being gay, and that's like the only personality trait of the person.
Right.
And what I've liked in Broad City is Ilana and Abby are the main characters of the show, and Ilana is bi, and it's like it's in there, she's bi, but it's not this huge big deal. And later in the seasons, Abby starts dating a girl, and Alana's like, I didn't know you liked girls. And Abby's like, I don't know.
Right.
And I love how it's just like a part of the conversation. It's a part of their life. It's not this huge thing that has to be made, which I think in certain contexts it is a good thing to some degree, but I hope to see more of that in media.
Yeah. And especially with that particular group of people, bisexual people, because it's probably one of the most unrepresented groups on TV. I'm trying to think of, other than movies that just are using women, like, to be bisexual to turn on a man or something. But if you just think about that storyline, it's really not out there very much.
I can't really think of many bisexual characters right now.
Yeah. And certainly even what you're also describing, which is getting sort of post like label, like after labels, what are we? If we're going to talk about this a lot here too. Language is limited. You'll hear it all the time. Brene Brown talks a lot about this, the great author, great American author who talks about shame and guilt and stuff a lot. She says that, a lot of times language is limited, and so we want to understand things as quickly as possible. And so that's where labels like gay, bi, come from, because you're trying to understand a bunch of stuff. But sometimes it doesn't describe enough, because there's more to the story. The person has more going on than just their sexual orientation, for example, or whatever that one label is that sort of categorizes them in this way that other people can now say, all these other things must be true about you too. I'm like, no, that's the problem with labels.
It's about the humanity of it. And a lot of the stories, that's not really the point of the story.
Right.
There's these themes that we all go through: love, loss, fear, change. And I think that's what's fascinating about this time. We're opening up to this.
Right.
But I think at a certain point it'll be like, remember when that didn't exist? It'll just be normal.
Well, we feel that way now. I feel that way about like interracial marriage, or like sometimes I see things that I know once upon a time. We talk about this in our taboo segment, like things that were once totally off limits that are now mainstream. It's remarkable to watch the evolution of stigma and the evolution of social norms, And to your point, Mariah, having people on TV that are like you, but that's not the point of it. Like, I mean, in that one regard. It's because whatever the story is happening, it's reminding you of something else that's probably true about you. Like, you know, I happen to be gay, but if a whole movie was about me, it would also include like the story would include that, but it would really be about something else, right?
Right, exactly.
Like, what is this gay guy doing?
Right.
And, you know, something else you could relate to, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. So entertainment, obviously a very powerful tool in the media. I mean, that's what GLAAD is all about. Gays and lesbians. What did I just hear about? Was this on SNL? Where were they making? Oh, there was some show I saw recently where they were trying to understand or remember what the acronym GLAAD meant. They're like, gays and lesbians.
Gays and
you just don't mess with them. Just don't mess with the gays and lesbians. I'm glad that we have that reputation. Don't mess with us. We want representation. So I think we're going to go for it. I think we have time to kill a couple more entertainment stories here. And you know, there's a special place in my heart for this next show. So much that I'm going to throw this little open gifts music on as you bring up the asset. Check this out. This is RuPaul's Drag Race season 14. Cast photo on everybody listening on the podcast. You're looking at a photo of, I think there starts with 14 contestants, and they are all beautifully dressed in these neon colors, and so much to talk about with RuPaul's Drag Race season 14. First of all, this is the first time ever, Mariah, you know this is a big deal, to have a cisgender male performing as a drag queen on the show. The first time in 14 seasons of the show, all the All-Star seasons, all the international shows like Spain and Italy and the Netherlands and Thailand, all of those shows have never once, at least not knowingly, maybe there was a closeted straight guy on one of them, but have never had a straight cast member. This is Maddie Morphosis. This is the...
that looks amazing.
Isn't that cool?
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's such a form of presentation art. For those listening, we're looking at a bald, hot pink head. The entire her skin, her chest, her face is all done in hot pink with beautiful feminized makeup in the middle and this really structural, architectural, looks like light blue and gold bolero jacket. My fashion words are limited. I will have to bring on some experts from that world so that they can tell us what those things really are. But so what do you guys think? What do you guys think about a show like RuPaul's Drag Race having straight drag queens?
Wow. That's shocking to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first time. One out of like hundreds.
I think a lot of people don't think that that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think that. But I guess, you know, it's a form of expression.
Yeah.
And a way to do something different. And maybe that's somebody's bucket list, right?
Yeah.
They're like, I'm living this life, and that would be really fun to completely transform myself into a whole nother thing.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's such an
Awesome.
FU to gender. It's such a, like, who cares?
Yes.
Like, we're, you know, this gentleman, his, I think it's a he. Yeah, he goes by he. He's,
Wow.
Maddie Morphosis is this, like, you know, what he says that is so impressive to me is that this has drawn him so much closer to understanding the ways in which gay people are oftentimes stereotyped and lumped in, because as a performer who performs in drag, he feels the weight of stereotypes and pressure from him from some of other straight community members. Like
Wow.
that he is, and has also gotten a lot of some backlash from some of the gay community as well, who feel like, oh, this is like
It's our thing.
yeah, it's our thing.
That's
but
what I was going to ask you.
yeah.
Like,
I don't think that at all. Are you kidding?
Like,
The more people that do drag, the better.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Anytime you want to strengthen an institution,
Yeah.
whether it's marriage, the more people that do it, the better.
Yeah.
I mean, to limit
Especially
it.
the privileged.
Exactly. And what a walk in our shoes he's taking now. And he can bring that message back. And he's such an ally. Like when you hear him talk on the show, he's just a really beautiful human being. Like he's really got his head wrapped around it. I love when he talks about his girlfriend, how she helps him with all of his outfits.
That's awesome.
And it's just part of their relationship.
What was the reaction of everyone else on the show, the other contestants?
Oh? wait. Come again now. Like you heard it was so fun.
Wait, he was the only straight one?
He's the only straight cisgender male contestant that RuPaul's Drag Race has ever had. So everybody until now has either been trans or gay or identified as non-binary. There's, it's how you identify. And he identifies as cisgender, which is just heterosexual male. And cisgender doesn't reference male. Cisgender just means you're straight. So, so the show's never had one before, I think. And we're like, by the way, spoiler alerts, if you're watching and you don't want to know about what's going on in RuPaul's Drag Race, go down below and look at some of the links we've put down there. But we are, he is still on the show. So he is. I will say, like, I'm trying to be a really objective observer. He isn't the best drag queen on the show.
Right.
He has a couple of, like, the best drag queens. The next two we're about to talk about that are going to go to the end. There's a kind of polish. It's a kind of drag. RuPaul's Drag Race shines a light on one kind of drag, essentially.
Right.
The drag where, you know, gay men dress up like beautiful women or, you know, gorgeous girls, pageant girls, fishy girls, or maybe they're a little like, you know, Evie Oddly won one year and she was a little bit more like out there and, you know, the grotesque and stuff like that. But there's even more kinds of drag in the world. There's all kinds where people are like club kids and, you know, doing all kinds of stuff. But this show focuses on this kind of drag, and the person who's on the show right now, this next person, Angeria, is that her name right?
Yeah, I'm also just gonna add about cisgender. It's not just like being straight. It's also that their identity corresponds with their birth sex.
Yes. Okay.
Just wanted to add on to that.
That makes sense.
Throw it in there.
I appreciate that. That's what we are here for, and I love the education.
Yeah.
Oh, so I understand. So you could present as cis, and because you're identifying with your gender of birth, but that doesn't necessarily say something about your sexuality.
Yes.
Oh, so cisgender does not mean heterosexual?
No, because you can technically be straight but be a trans woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
That absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
See, this is I love this.
We
because
learn something new every day.
Yeah, and we're not.
I can read the exact definition.
Do it.
Please.
Denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender corresponds with their birth sex.
Okay.
I'm confused. Wait, what?
It's like a combination of everything that we kind of did say. So you're straight, and that corresponds.
So it's a heterosexual whose birth, like their genitalia, matches the gender they feel inside.
Yes.
So that means that a cisgender could never be a trans person. Because
No.
a trans person, by definition, is someone who feels that their body does not match who they are inside.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
But they could be non-binary.
Yes.
And they could be a cross-dresser. They could dress as a woman.
That's not gender. Cross-dressing tends to be like if a man or woman chooses to dress in the clothes most commonly associated like with the opposite gender. It can be a form of expression, art. That's what drag is, essentially. But gender identity, which would be like non-binary, means you don't feel male or female. A lot of times non-binary people, this is the they in Gals, Gays, and Theys, is that it's a reference to, you know, it's inclusive of all people, but people that don't feel like their pronouns match them, they've never felt like a him or a her growing up, and so they absolutely have the right to be referred to how they want to be, which is sometimes they.
Also just says cisgender is generally known as that the antonym of transgender. So they're kind of like the opposing.
Exactly. So that really helps clarify, because I really understand trans well, because I have a lot of trans friends, and also because we used to do a lot of reporting on those stories when I was out at CNN. So I get it. So so basically, if you were born and you feel like your body parts match your identity, you're cisgender.
You're cis. Yeah.
All right. So let's go back to somebody who is definitely not cisgender. This is Angeria. She's one of my proud gay brothers and sisters when she's in drag. Angeria Paris Van Michael. She is definitely a front runner. She has won, again, spoiler alert, she's won 2 episodes out of the 4 so far. It's just, if I was watching this and I had not caught up, I would be so mad at me right now. And I promise I'm not about spoiling things for people. It's just, it's hard to have an honest conversation about things without telling details. She's from Atlanta. She's a classic pageant queen. I mean, she is what the word pageant queen was invented for. For those of you who are new to the whole drag world, I'm going to start giving an educational course. A pageant queen is a drag queen who kind of comes up through the ranks of the pageant system. Just like, you maybe don't know this, just like Miss USA and Miss America, these famous cisgender female, or not just for cisgender female, you could be lesbian, I guess, and be in those. But, I got to come back to this. We're going to have a longer talk about these language and these words, so I want to make sure I'm not just brushing that off. But they have pageants too. You know, there's pageants just for drag queens, and they tend to be very polished. You know how, imagine what you think of when you think of a, you know, traditional pageant. They're very pulled together. They're not like, it's not a loose interpretation of drag. It's a very specific interpretation, and she is killing it. She also happens to be hilarious and can dance and sing, and she knows her body. That's a big part of the show, is people that they know what they look like. That sounds like a weird thing, but Actually, we're going to talk about someone in a second who doesn't always know she's. But before we do that, let's talk about the other person. And my personal favorite character on the show, person, is Willow Pill, who RuPaul, Mama Ru, always says she's not a big pill, she's a willow pill. Her name is Willow Pill.
I am obsessed.
Yes, she is obsession worthy. She is. Wow. She's just so good and so unassuming. I encourage people to watch the show and see how different she looks as a man out of drag, because you might be stunned. I also have a special place in my heart for anybody who obviously does significant planning. And I love planning, like making sure I'm ready for things. And you can tell even from her entrance look, which she purposefully wore these like flip-flops, which you just would never do. Like she did something so smart. On RuPaul's Drag Race, the show starts off with their entrance. Like every season, the queen gets her own little entrance moment. And it's an outfit that isn't going to get judged. Okay. And so it's a chance to be strategic. You could either come out hard swinging, like your absolute most stunning thing, right, and then just put the fear of God in all the other queens right away and try to take that, strategic approach. Or you can do what Willow Pill did, which was basically dress like we have a phrase for this, where I'm from in Barstow, which I don't know is too PC. I don't think I'm going to repeat it right now. But so sometimes people live in, different kinds of housing. Anyways, this is like a trailer look is what we would call it. Okay. Sorry. No offense to anybody out there, but the very first outfit she wore, she was wearing like wedge flip-flops and like a mini skirt and just a really, really not a very very great drag outfit. And everybody sort of made fun of her, and she just disarmed everyone. And then she came out and this bitch, and by the way, we say bitch as gay men in a very different way. This bitch is rocking it. She is killing it. The show is so like loving her, and I just love everything that she puts together. So clever. I mean, one of the themes a week or two ago was springtime. Like that was the theme of the runway, the catwalk runway at the end. And she literally wore a house. She had a house. She had this really cute dress, and then her head was shaped like a house. It's just so next level. Good drag is like can make you catch your breath, which I really love. And so she's my favorite. She's won once, and Jerry's won twice. They've almost both won twice. They're going to end up in the end. This next queen I want to show you is Cornbread. Cornbread. Oh my God, that's is was probably the person I would have thought was the third that would likely go to the end. Obviously, I'm projecting. I don't know any of this to be true, but Cornbread just announced that she had to leave. She had to leave the show early. It's a bummer when that happens. She injured her leg during a performance, and she didn't realize how bad it was injured, and so she unceremoniously has to depart. But I will say that this happened once in seasons past with Eureka O'Hara, one of my favorite drag queens as well, featured on the HBO show We're Here, which we'll definitely be talking about at some point.
Yes.
She injured herself, I think, in season 9 and got to come back on season 10. Or 10 and 11. So my guess is that Cornbread will be back on season 15 of RuPaul's Drag Race, which is not a bad way to get more camera time. Sure. And could even be a strategy. Not to be cynical about it, because I'm not. But think, in today's age, why just be on one season when you could come on for 5 episodes, boost those Insta followers a couple million, and you're back. It didn't hurt Eureka's career, I can tell you that much right now.
Is that Eureka right there?
No, that is that. Okay, I'm sorry, I have to leave. That is RuPaul. That is Mama Ru.
Oh my God!
Now we have to show her.
So different.
I just had to throw this photo in because
I'm just playing, Angelica. I know you don't follow drag like I do.
This is just so.
I just want to know how long it takes to, like, for
all week. No, I don't know. What's the question?
Oh my God! I literally thought it was like Tyra Banks.
Stop.
Stop. Wait.
What?
Yeah.
Tyra Banks?
In another universe.
No. I could totally see that. Yeah. Plus,
okay, thanks.
People have to know that where we are in the studio, like the monitor that we look at the return on is, it's about 10 feet away. And so sometimes it's like, where do we see up there? I'm like, is that me? Is that my photo? No, that's RuPaul. All right. Yes, so RuPaul, Mama Ru as they call her. For anybody out there who is like, wait, I've been hearing about this show, RuPaul's Drag Race. What is the excitement? What is it all about? It's kind of a global phenomenon. I mean, get this. Not only is there RuPaul's Drag Race, which is the American show, and they're in their 14th season, And then RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars, which is just where they take the ones that didn't win, that were everyone's favorites, and they put them on a season where they compete against each other. And that's like in season 6 or 7 now. And then they have RuPaul's Drag Race Thailand, Spain, Italy, the UK.
Oh, wow.
And I'm forgetting, and the Netherlands, Holland. And all of those girls now are now competing on a different show called RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World. And so it's like taking international queens and competing, like, you know, people that watch in Thailand will watch for the one from Holland, and cross-matching like all these drag queens from around the world for its own competition. And then on top of that, there's another show where they find drag queens that can really sing. And it was a singing competition show.
Oh, wow, how fantastic.
And I can't remember the name of that one off the top of my head, but it is also out there. So the drag queen, I think RuPaul really did a service to the LGBTQ community when he came forward with this show idea, because he made it like, it's kind of like Will and Grace. Like the way Will and Grace brought gay people and like sort of normalized them for an American audience and the television audience. That's what RuPaul's Drag Race did. So much that I think a lot of people who maybe never would have even considered doing drag, like I can't imagine who, would maybe suddenly consider doing it and disguise it as a segment on their show called How to Build a Queen, airing this season on Gals, Gays, and Days. Yes, that's a true story. So we'll be bringing people on, because I've done drag a few times. You've seen me do it, right, DeMarcus?
No, but I saw the photos. Amazing. Amazing.
Oh,
I
please.
didn't.
That is
I
not
didn't
what the
know.
word amazing was invented for.
I didn't know it was you.
Really? That's true. That's what everyone says, is it's like, oh, I can't believe that was you. More on that later. Dynamos, have you ever done drag? Why don't you answer us in the or tell us in the live chat if you've ever done drag on Twitch or YouTube, where we are live streaming. And hey, send an acid if you want, and if you want to jump on in drag, we'll send you a Zoom link. Let us know.
Oh, that's so fun.
Exactly.
I love
Why
that.
not? This is the best thing about being live. Like live stream, we can do all this stuff. I'm so jazzed. All right, last show that I'm going to talk about before switching gears into our next segment, and we'll do it quick since she's on at 4, which is just 4 minutes, is HBO Max's The Gilded Age. Oh, love.
I'm so excited to watch.
That is how I feel about HBO Max's The Gilded Age. If you love Downton Abbey, you will love HBO Max. I keep saying HBO Max, I don't know why. The Gilded Age is Downton Abbey America style. So this is New York, the same era. We're not gonna roll it full, right? Just roll it in the background. You can throw the trailer up there. You guys can get to see a little taste of it. Did you guys watch Downton Abbey?
Yes.
No.
I started to.
It's period. It's definitely, for people who like period, it's everything. For people who don't, I don't know that you would.
There's a movie too, though. Right? There's a movie, I believe, too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they made Downton Abbey into a movie. Yeah, so this is what was happening. The Gilded Age is the same time period that Downton Abbey is set in. The great Christine Baranski, the amazing Cynthia Nixon. This cast is so amazing. And it's all like during the time of the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, the J.P. Morgans, and those people I just listed were that's all new money. People that sort of made their wealth in this explosion of the Industrial Revolution, versus old money, which was like came over on the Mayflower from Europe, right? So that's the struggle in this, is between new money and old money. Christine Baranski and Cynthia Nixon are sisters. Wealthy sisters from old money. They live on this side of the street. The Russells, George and his wife Bertha Russell, are the new money. They live on this side of the street.
So they don't get along.
The new money in this story is that she's dying to get involved. By the way, sorry, spoiler alert, should have said that. She's dying. The wife, Bertha Russell, it is her mission in life to be accepted in New York high society. Okay. And only old money right now. And mind you, the Vanderbilts, Rockefellers, J.P. Morgan, that's all new money too. So the Russells, the who Russell's character is modeled after is Gould. I can't remember the guy's full name, but he was known for making people like cry. Like the husband is a very strong businessman, but he is George Russell, but he's also loving of his wife. They make this. If you watch Downton Abbey, it's very similar to the relationship that the patriarch and matriarch have on that show. The husband and wife are the kind of the heart of the show, and their love for each other is really, really, you feel it. And they're incredible partners. Like for everything he sets down, she picks up, and they've done a brilliant job of the cast. I am so pleased with the show. And it's one of those shows, you know how when you know you love something is when it doesn't last in your like saved items long,
Right,
or you watch it
like
the day
crazy.
of. Do you have shows that you watch the day of?
I just got through watching one with what is her name, Kristen Bell, the woman in the what is it called? The woman in the window across the street from.
Oh, I saw the title of that, and I was like, that seemed like a dare.
That day.
Wow. Whoa, it's that good?
Yeah.
I've been seeing
kind of ridiculous, but it's good.
That's the title, The Woman in the Window Across the Street that I've been watching or something. Isn't
yeah,
it's
it's
something like that.
It's
Yeah,
satire of horror films, basically.
And I think
right?
it's a rip-off of, some of it.
I'm writing that down. I love good recommendation.
Oh, my God.
Room,
Alfred Hitchcock did something like that.
Yeah, Room with a View or Rear Window.
I see.
Something
Rear
like,
Window.
Oh,
like
yeah.
And you loved it. You tore right through it. Is it a series or a film?
No, it's a series. And
okay.
I felt,
what a great idea.
8 hours gone.
You binged it. I mean, but think about it, DeMarcus. What brought both of us to this business initially was that feeling, that inescapable feeling that when you are watching something entertaining on the screen that just clicks with you, you love it.
And I love watching stuff like if it's a favorite actor of mine and I forget that I'm watching that actor. I'm just watching a guy going through something traumatic or whatever, and you can relate.
Absolutely.
I love that. That draws me in, and that's what that show did for me.
That's the emotion I always say when I'm sitting down for a show like The Gilded Age. I'm like, pay attention to the clock. Don't let it slip by too fast. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I'm like, it's over already? Oh, I did it again. And I was so watching the clock. So, and much like my affinity for The Gilded Age, I have a great affinity for our next show host. Angelica Perman will be up in just a moment. But first, we are going to go to another Mindful Minute. And this one is just appropriate because this was also her life spanned The Gilded Age. And take a look at this. I'm ready. All right, I'm back, and I'm over on the sofa. I was the conductor of the Underground Railroad for 8 years, and I can say most conductors can't say that she never lost a passenger. And the quote went away, but that was a quote from Harriet Tubman that we were just listening to. And as promised, before I switched out, I am going to introduce our beautiful, sexy psychic to the stars and a regular co-host here on Mod Pod Studio Live presents Gals, Gays, and Days, the illustrious Angelica Perman.
Yeah, baby. I know what it's like. I know what it's like.
Hi, everyone. I'm Angelica Perman, and I know what it's like. I know what it's like to go through a lot of things in life. Divorce, loss, and losing your home, going through challenges. And during these times, I want to be here for all of you and share my gifts, my intuitive gifts, my music, and this platform to share and connect and bring you spiritual good vibes. Hi, everybody.
Aw, that's so sweet, Angelica. You're such a sweet person. Very sweet. I love that. I love how that felt so warm and inviting. It made me want to tell you my problems.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want you to do. Okay.
Exactly.
So one of the things I want to do every week is live readings, and I also have cards, and share about different subjects. And because it's Valentine's Day next week, and the show's on Tuesday, so I'll miss Valentine's next week, I wanted to talk about love.
Love.
And
Valentine's Day and love.
And sex.
And sex.
Sacred sexuality. And how can we feel more love, attract love, and also find out how to have a healthier sex life? Have it be fun, playful, adventurous.
You know what I would love?
What would you
For
love?
you to really talk into that microphone.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. So,
how's that?
Velvet.
Okay. And there's something in my bag. There's a couple things in my bag that I want to share with you guys later that I didn't get.
Tease.
So I might need a little help with that. But I have a few friends that I brought along.
Awesome.
Some tools.
Okay. Wow, this is a surprise to me. It's always fun to have a surprise on the show I never knew was coming.
Because, people talk about self-love, right? And confidence. And we all have trauma. We all have things that we've gone through that can create blocks emotionally, energetically. And then we have relationships that reflect back to us our issues, our desires, the things that we want to create in our life. And we draw people into our life that their soul is connected with our soul. And we don't ever know how long people are going to be in our life. It's for a reason, a season,
or a lifetime,
right? We don't know that. And so if you're going through any kind of heartbreak or loss or breakup, a divorce, and these holidays come, the first holiday, when you are separated. I was separated years ago after being with someone for 17 years. And there's the first. You go through this identity crisis where you're like, this is who I am, and this is who I was with this person and all the community, right? And so those first can be tough, the holidays. And so I wanted to dedicate this to connecting more with your intention first. Because wherever you're at, if you're single, married, looking, in a relationship, don't even know, there's a lot of people like, I don't even know. Is that anybody here? I don't even know. If there's an I don't even know, then this is about intention, what you might want to bring into your life with your energy. And also sexuality, even if we don't have a partner, we are sexual beings. And so I want to talk a little bit about some really interesting things.
Please do.
Yes.
You have my full attention.
I'm so excited. So one of the things I was thinking about is attachment styles. And attachment styles are a theory about how we were raised and then how we love, how we get into relationships with other people. So there are 4 basic attachment styles. And then I wanted to talk about how those show up in sex and how we could work with that in relationship or, you know, working through our issues. So we've got, can we put that on there? All right, cool. So this is my first little thing that's up on the screen. I keep forgetting what the name of it is. Assets. I should know what that is.
Yes, we know you keep forgetting what an asset is.
Yeah, what are your best assets? Clearly.
Can I get your assets, Angelica?
Yeah. Well, mine are covered with my
I
big
love the
giant
5
rose
love
quartz,
languages.
which we'll show later. Okay, so this is to help my heart on my assets. But anyway, so we've got the attachment styles, right? So we've got secure attachment, which is basically a person that's, you know, shows up, is secure.
I don't know if we're looking at the right asset then, because we're looking at a wheel that has the 5 love
Oh,
languages.
no, that's the other one. We'll get to that later.
Okay,
that's
so let's,
okay.
let's
So we're
bring
looking
that
at
asset down and bring up the other one that is what?
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yes.
And I wear my glasses just for moments like this.
I know, I didn't even
so
notice
I can see what's up. So
I
we're
clearly
doing
need my glasses.
forms of attachment.
So it's the forms of the attachments with the little cute.
I don't know if I got that one.
Oh, okay.
Let me double check.
All right. So I'll just go over it while you're looking for it. So the secure attachment is a person that grew up with a parent or parents of origin that shared love in a healthy way, showed up for them.
Right.
And so they have that relationship, and then they can show up for other people. They don't have necessarily commitment issues. They can choose to be in a monogamous relationship or not, but they don't have that same fear of intimacy necessarily. Then you've got anxious attachment, and that person obviously gets anxious. They get in a relationship, they connect with somebody else, and then they're afraid they're going to get abandoned. So they tend to get anxiety and, you know, reach for the person. Then you've got the love avoidant or dismissive, and they tend to be more about their own energy, their own self. They avoid intimacy. They get connected with others, and then they tend to run. They tend to want to be by themselves a lot. They're comfortable with that, and their fear comes from having a parent of origin basically smother them. Yeah. So the smothering energy brings that in. And then you've got...
Wait, what's that one called? What attachment?
That's the love avoidant or
Love
dismissive,
avoidant.
right?
Okay.
And then you've got the last one is fearful avoidant. There's 2 kinds of avoidance. And they can be more dependent in relationship. So they're kind of like in the relationship and then leave the relationship. And all of these can be blended together, okay? So I'm going over the basics. But in sex, do you have a question about that?
No, yeah, I'm actually, so I just wanted to restate it because I'm an extrovert, so I learn on the outside.
Yeah.
So there's 4 attachment styles. Secure, which means you're kind of raised healthily.
Yeah.
Right? Anxious, which means you're worried about it being abandoned.
Yeah.
Avoidant, which means that someone smothered you too much. I mean, that's what I got away. And then, avoidant dismissive and avoidant fearful.
Yeah, avoidant fearful, basically, it wasn't safe for them to be vulnerable.
Okay, I see.
So they can be vulnerable, but then they pull away. And then you can be a couple of them together because, you know, this is a blueprint. I find it really fascinating. And like if you watch movies, you can actually look at the films, and we'll do this one at one point, but is that person a love avoidant? And it's classic. They fall in love, they're connected, and the person runs. Love avoidant or dismissive, fearful avoidant. And then the one that's like, oh my God, where did they go? Anxious. So in sex, right? Secure would be that it's a give and take in sexuality, that they can show up for the sexual connection. They tend to often be with one person. They're okay with that. And they may have a healthier viewpoint of sexuality in that way, where they don't freak out and run away if they're intimate. They're not as afraid of
Because their
intimacy.
parents had healthy sex with them.
Oh my God.
No, bad joke. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure
It was
everybody's
getting too
awake and
heavy.
listening.
Oh my.
Joking.
Well,
because
no.
that was before.
That was before.
Secure attachment because your parents paid enough attention to you.
Yeah, so the healthy version of that is that they had that feeling of safety and security with their family member.
Got it.
So then it shows up in sex. And then anxious. What's interesting is that they tend to have sex early in life, the anxious attachment, and often are promiscuous. And then they also can play games and invoke jealousy and this kind of thing when they feel the person's running. So in sexuality, the anxiety might show up with feeling insecure, trying to overplease the other person. How am I doing? How am I doing? You know what I mean? Was that good for you? Was that good for you? Where their own needs, they're not even being met. And they're like, I just haven't had an orgasm in like, I don't even know how long.
10 minutes.
Secure. Or avoid it.
Ever. I know.
So then the avoidant dismissive, they can be like, they're in and they're out. That's it. Right? And the avoidant fearful, they're in and then they're like maybe one door out, 1 foot out, and then coming back, right? So with sexuality, they're, often having promiscuous or casual sex. They have casual sex because they're like, I can't really get connected. Both avoidants can do that. Yeah. You have a question. I feel
a burning question from engineering.
Please, I want to hear, Mariah.
So, I'm just thinking about, let me look at it again. So the avoidant fearful, you're saying like, so those people that do have like casual sex, more likely, what does that look like when they're in a relationship then?
Right. So they may fear having a relationship or become really dependent. Doesn't mean you can't work with it and be monogamous, These are like the things that come up though. So when you're with a person, the triggers come up, they'll go in the lane. You'll know because you're like, oh my God, the honeymoon just took a dive and all of a sudden they're really anxious, or wow, they're so secure, they're always there for me. That's boring. Or, oh, yeah. I mean, that can be a thing. Or, oh, I was such a bad boy. Oh, my God. But where are they now? Where'd they go? Where'd they go? I don't know anything about that.
Did you check under the sofa? Because that's where I lose everything.
Called out.
Okay, well, it's a thing. Okay. So I was thinking about this. Like, in what would happen after sex? In the different attachment styles, right? The secure would be like, baby, that was amazing. Can I get you anything? And like cuddle and hug and like you feel like super bonded. The anxious the person gets up and they go, are you leaving? They're like, no, I'm just going to the bathroom, girl.
Wow. But also, yes.
Right? Yes.
Because chances are, if you're putting it out there, you're probably attracting the problem.
Right. The avoidant dismissive after sex might be like, how was I?
Right.
Oh my God.
And then the next thing you know, you're like, hello?
Exactly.
Hello? Click. You hear the door. And you're like, wait, they just left? Hey, baby, I had to go. I'll see you next week. Or whenever. And
that's
then,
avoidant dismissive.
Yeah, it's very dismissive. It's just, I'm out. And then I would say the fearful avoidant would be like, how was I? How are you? Are you okay? Are we okay? Can I rely on you? Can I be vulnerable? Did you have enough orgasms? I had amazing orgasms, and now I'm going to go. So this is what I just came up with today when I was thinking about this. So
I don't know, is that resonating for anybody in the studio?
Anybody feel that? Anybody in the audience? What's your attachment style?
Okay. Oh my.
Hey, Barbara Warner, what's up, girl? Okay, so if anybody wants a reading, you need to. Where's the link?
It is in the description. It's the first thing that you will see.
All right, awesome. Hi, everybody.
You can join the waiting room, and we'll let someone in.
Yes, and in fact, speaking of the waiting room, I like to be the voice for the dynamos when something pops up. Glamifornia Style Lounge. I don't know who they are or what they're
Hi,
about.
Tara, Tidy.
Oh, you know who this is?
Yes,
oh,
she has an awesome place in Malibu.
Then that is supporting you. She says, let's have you come to the GSL, I guess that's Glamifornia Style Lounge, to share with our clients.
I would love that. So before we do the reading, I want to talk a little bit about some other sex stuff, okay? And then my toys. I mean, my friends.
Oh, now we know what you brought. Okay.
My friends.
Get the black bars and the digital screens ready.
Well, I think they're going to be okay.
Oh,
but
good.
I'll hide. I'll put under the table.
Okay,
and then you let me know.
Because we're live.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Tantra. Because I was talking about bringing in the goodness.
Sting. Every time someone says tantra or tantric sex, I think it's Sting, the singer.
Yeah, exactly.
I met Sting once.
You did?
Did you?
Yeah, on at KTLA actually.
Nice.
Yeah, was he glowing because he held in his
his sexual energy?
I was honestly so caught off guard by how short he was.
Oh,
Wow!
He doesn't need to be tall, girl.
I was like, I'm taller than you. and then their security was like, stop looking at Sting. You need to leave.
Well, yeah. So
Listen,
Sting
stalker.
let everybody know about Tantra, but it comes from basically it comes from the East, right? And so we've got right-handed Tantra and left-handed Tantra. Okay, so the left-handed Tantra is super edgy.
Got it.
There's sexual rituals. Practitioners of this tend to be sadhus or spiritual seekers, and they will go to graveyards. They drink, they party, and they actually work with like connecting with the dark energy.
Did you say graveyard?
Yeah, graveyard.
Did you just slip that in there?
Oh, absolutely. So what they do is they meditate in the graveyards. They work with spirits.
Okay.
It's about taking that energy that's stuck there and transmuting the darkness. But it's super scary for the West. Like that's really weird stuff for us.
Why is
right?
that associated with the left hand?
I don't know. They just decided the left and the right. There's
Okay.
probably a reason for that, but that's how they do it there. So the right hand is more the spiritual. I know you're tripping. You're tripping. You're like, I know. Okay. So, but I'm talking
What
about
if you
Tantra.
can use both hands?
Exactly. Well,
Will you hit that rim shot button, please? We're gonna make a
I don't even know
host
where
out of
that
you
is.
yet.
I have no idea where that is.
Just hit a
I'm gonna
button.
hit the magic.
Oh, that's perfect for Angelica. That's the sound of an orgasm happening
Yes,
somewhere.
it is. Oh, that's my next thing I'm gonna talk about.
There you go.
Is how to make magic happen
Yes.
with your orgasm.
Get that button ready.
Okay.
Sex
and then I'll do.
magic?
Oh no.
You literally know how to push all the right buttons,
Oh,
Angelica.
I do. Thank you. Okay. So, wait, what was I saying? Tantra. Right-handed Tantra is a spiritual practice of meditation, mantra. And that tends to be more of that side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I studied a practice that was taking fire and making fire ceremonies, and it was right-handed. And it was to transmute things, to clear pain, suffering, illness, these kinds of things. And I studied with a teacher that did this practice for 11 years. And he talked to me a little bit about the Tantra and how we view it here, that we make it all about sex, but it's not. But I think in the 60s, a bunch of people smoked a lot of weed. They went to India and they were like, Tantra, this is fantastic. You know, I'm totally going to go back and teach that, man.
I do actually. I took in college back when Jesus was a boy. I took a class on Eastern religions and Hinduism in particular, and there's actually a really deep and rich and seems like 1,000-year-old history behind Tantra.
Oh, it's really, really deep. But we've got all kinds of information.
Yes.
What's the thing called with the 1,000 positions?
Oh, you Kama Sutra.
Karma Sutra. Right. Okay.
You're my lifeline
He's
on when
all
I want to win $1 million.
Sutra.
You knew
He's
that
like, hold on. Number 311 is my favorite.
I mean,
What position do you want to know about? The Kama Sutra. Oh, I love it.
Mowing the lawn. Wait, hold on. My little magical. I'm just going to keep doing that.
Yes, we love it.
Yes.
Every time the bell rings, an angel's having an orgasm. Isn't that a line from a famous movie?
It is now. So years ago, I played some music with someone that was in the Wailers and a really good friend of mine now. And he played with Bob Marley. And I had just done this work with Tantra. I worked on a project about Tantra and I told him about it and he goes, oh, you're my teacher, man. And everywhere I go, he's like, you're my Tantra teacher. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not. I gave him a crystal and he would call me from different places in the world and be like, how's my teacher? And I was like, wait, I'm not your teacher. Anyway, but I thought about it and I'm like, I kind of am a Tantrika. I really am.
You left a lasting impression, it seems.
Yeah, because, I was talking about sacred sexuality and he was like, you're my teacher. So anyway, that's the thing is sometimes we get these messages that we don't realize are our gift. And so I wanted to bring sacred sexuality and playfulness to this.
We have Mariah in the waiting room is Christina Bent. I think she wants a live reading.
Okay, so we just
she joined our Zoom.
Awesome.
I think she's trying to figure out how to.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'm going to say.
I am going to just say a couple more things and then do a reading. So about the Tantra. I love to do a reading. So there's a lot of books on how can you bring in sacred practices into your sex life. Well, the first thing is the breath. practicing with the breath and setting intention. And sex is all about communication, communing with yourself and the other person. So there's a ton of information about how to do this, but really, truly, why don't you all just think about what intention you have for your sex life? And it could be your own self. Some people, that's it. They're not seeing anybody else and they just want to get to know their own body. You don't have to have sex with other people to have a good sex life. Yeah.
You don't have to have sex with a lot of people to have a good sex life.
No, I said you don't have to have sex with other people to have a good sex life.
Oh, you're singing my song. Ain't that the truth? Yep. That's the.
So I really want you to think about that as you move towards this day of love. What are you intending for your love life, your sex life? I mean, I have so much to talk about. I'm probably not going to get too much into the rest of the things. I think I'll do a reading, and then I'm going to pull something out of my bag and talk about that.
Let's do it.
Okay. So do we have anybody on Zoom, or how's this going to go? Or do I need to keep talking?
Kathleen Jones in the waiting room, but I know Chris. And a Chris, which I'm assuming
And
is
Barbara
Christina.
Warner says, you need to do a class. This is awesome.
Oh my God, I would love to do a class. I mean, this is
a class every Tuesday at 4 p.m. You're invited.
Yeah. Well, actually, I am working on a program on love, and I'm going to put a lot of this stuff in there, an online program. But right now, I'm just getting all into the research. It's super fun. Are we ready to do that?
Yeah. I think. Oh, are you talking about the Zoom call?
Yeah, the Zoom.
This is so cool.
Yeah, this is our first
let's
live
explain to people what's happening.
Online.
So we've shared our Zoom link to the studio here in the chat, and now someone has entered the chat and is interested in getting a live psychic reading from Angelica, and
we're working it out.
And Mariah, we're working it out technologically.
Well, they were just in the waiting room. They dropped out.
They got.
Oh no, come back.
I'm not sure why.
Okay.
We had 2 people, but
all right. Well, let's see if they come back. I'm gonna grab what's in my bag here.
Don't forget to talk into the microphone.
Okay. So.
In the meantime, here are my sex toys. If I'd known we were show and tell, I'd have brought down the tank. I have a chest upstairs. It's like the size of a small country.
Oh my God. Hold on. I got to see if it's in here. Okay, here it is.
I do love healthy conversations about sex, though. Yeah. That's a big theme of the show we talked about when we were planning it, is that we want to make sex something that you talk about comfortably.
Yes.
It's a beautiful part of the human experience when handled healthily. Yeah.
Yeah, and how can we release shame from sexuality?
Yes, that's a
right?
big part of it.
And judgment. And one of the things I want to say too is that a lot of times people, when they're with another person, their body issues come up, and feelings of insecurity and not knowing how to work through that with a partner. And so there's just so much that you can learn about yourself when you're entering into a sexual connection with somebody, and calling in something higher for yourself, communicating, setting that intention, really being true to yourself, I think is the key, especially if you're a trauma survivor and you were violated, which many people have been violated.
Sadly.
So they don't know how to show up and actually communicate what they need, what they want in sexuality.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can.
In your private practice as an intuitive and psychic, do you have people come to you a lot asking questions about sex? Like specifically, is that a big topic that people bring to you a lot?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've worked in rehabs for many years as well. And I've had clients that had love and sex addiction, and people that are in partnerships where there's been cheating, or they're just not feeling like they have a good sex life. And a lot of it comes down to communication. Mm-hmm. And not being able to tune into what they really want. What they had in the beginning got lost. So I want you to think about, if you're in a relationship now and there was one of those things, you know, you had somebody cheat and you're trying to work through that. The first thing is really feeling your feelings. If you have trauma around sexuality, to really get in touch with that happened and your feelings about it. And then look at the deeper lesson in your life. Like, what's the lesson here? Is it to be more true to yourself, to get support, right? So I was fortunate to work at places where I could support people that had severe trauma sexually. And I would use humor and play and innocence. And I would talk about innocence because a lot of people lost their innocence with their first sexual experience. And they don't feel worthy. They feel ashamed.
Yeah. I think the connection between shame and sex is strong and deep for millions of people.
Absolutely.
That's like I grew up in the child of the 80s and a church-going household where it was essentially, you didn't talk about it. It just wasn't something. I know my mom would say the same thing. She's like, my parents didn't tell me about it. Figure it out. But then the public or school sex education is so bad and controversial and supposed to be learning at home, but then we just don't. And sometimes I think
now it's porn.
Yeah,
porn is
that's
sex
the new
education.
sex ed. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday or a couple days ago too.
Are people able to get on the Zoom? Did Barbara get on?
I can see
Chris?
someone. I can see someone up there.
Oh, hi.
Tell me about it. Figure it out. But then the public.
I'm just gonna mute her
Hi.
for a second. Let me just finish.
We do have someone.
Someone's backlit, so I think I know who it is, but I
It's-
can't quite see.
Is this Christina?
It is not.
It is not. It is. It's coming to us. She's coming to us. She's on a delay, so she just needs to remember to turn her microphone.
Is that Barbara?
Her phone off. All right.
Oh my God! Can I hear her?
Let me.
We're working on it now.
All right.
We are live.
Look at the
we are
beautiful
making
hair.
it happen. I can see her
Hi.
in preview. She's coming up.
All right. So this is my very first Zoom live reading.
I'm excited.
All right. Can you turn off the background? Right? Is it us?
It's her. We're hearing ourselves in her speaker.
Oh, okay. But how will I hear her?
I'm just gonna have her mute the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
All she has to do is hit the mute button on her.
Okay. Hi. I can't hear her yet. Hold on 1 second. Let me.
We are working on it.
Unmute.
All right.
Does it work?
Yes. Okay. Fantastic. Can you hear me?
I'm
okay.
gonna go outside.
How
I
exciting.
love it. This is fantastic.
Hi, Barbara from the studio.
Wait,
It's
can you
nice
hear
to
me
see you.
Yes.
Hello.
Oh my God.
Wait, I got it. 1 minute.
All right. While you're doing that.
Hi. I can't hear her yet. Hold on 1 second. Let me.
This is.
I love this. Barbara's running
love
around
it.
the neighborhood, and I'm going to
I
read
do
her
too.
as she runs around the neighborhood. Hi, Barbara.
This is fantastic. Hi, Barbara. Hi, everybody.
All right. This is fantastic.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I
Yes.
can hear you now. I did something. I turned it off.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely. So I'm just going to have you tune into your breath and
Can hear
breathe
you.
and breathe really deep. I want you to think about a question, a subject, and then say your first. You can just say your first name 3 times since we're on the air if you want. 3 times.
Barbara. Barbara Warner. Barbara Warner. Barbara Warner.
Okay. And is there some area that you want to focus on? Is it love? I knew it. Okay. Love.
It's all about the love and the gorgina.
Okay, so I gotta just tell you. So I know Barbara, and I'm gonna read Barbara for some things that are coming in that I don't know right now. We're gonna tune in on that. But Barbara is a waxer to the stars. She's seen more than just about anybody in Hollywood. Okay.
The waxer to the stars. I just heard that, like body hair waxing.
And she does beautiful nails as well. So she calls it a gorgina. Yeah. Okay. So how's your...
It's a vagina when you start. When you're done, it's a gorgina.
Because it's gorgeous, not because it's engorged.
Right. All right. So I'm going to tune in on your love life. You know what? You really changed what you want. That's what I'm hearing. It's a big change. You're like, I almost feel like you want somebody that would be a little bit more down to earth and like square, straight, like not the old wild Barbara, like somebody that's just like, I just want to chill with you and be with you and show up and connect on a deeper level and not party all the time. Fun. But like someone reliable, someone down to earth, someone chill, not someone that's wild and you're going to be like, where are they? What are they doing? And like, but deeper.
I like that.
Deeper. And you change something inside of you of what you want in your life right now. From all the change I think that you've just been through. And I see 2 people coming in. I see 2.
Okay.
And you just
Thruple.
Raffle. You
No,
just
I said
jumped in.
thruple.
Oh, thruple. He said thruple.
I'm sorry. If you don't want me to interrupt, by
Yeah,
the way,
because
I'm fine with that.
2, right? So
Okay.
I feel like you're going to get a chance to decide which one you want. I mean, you're going to probably want them both. But I mean, like in a deeper relationship. And I feel like I'm seeing like around 3 months. Now, timing is something that's interesting because it's free will. Like if you stayed home, you know, and never went anywhere, you still would meet somebody, I'm sure, but because it's you. But you know, you have to show up and take the actions. But I do see about 3 months. And I see someone that travels a lot. And then you get together and you have a great time. And then they travel. They have something cool that they do for work that your friends would really like. And no drama. I don't love any drama with this person whatsoever. They put it into their work, you know? But different than what you've ever had. Really different.
I could go up for a little different this time around.
I think it's time. Time. But there's two. I think there's going to be somebody else and you're going to be like, I like them too. Oh, wow. Of course, right? Do you have another question about any of that?
For me?
Yeah. Any
Another
question about what I just said? Any question about that? Or does that feel like that supported you?
Would it be a weekend boyfriend and then a weekday boyfriend?
Well, that's a way to be really organized. I think it's according to the travel schedule of gentlemen.
I like the travel schedule. Okay. I like that a lot. Yeah. I think that's really cool. I like that there's going to be two and I get to pick.
Yeah, I feel that.
Actually really fun.
I think it's time for you to have that fun. But one's more serious in the sense of, I don't know, they're just more stable. That's the energy and not playing around. They're just like, this is what I want. I like you. This is what we're doing. We're having some fun. And I like you. And I'm going to be with you. But I do feel a deeper relationship for you. And you're going to be like, we're going to be like, oh, this is what she's like in this situation. But keep it on the down low. They're telling me that very, very strongly to not tell anyone until like, you know, you're really secure with the person. Like you're dating them and that's your person. Just no. Don't tell anyone. Okay. I mean, except like people you live with, they're going to be like, where are you? And they're going to want to know. But other than that.
In the love shack.
In the love shack. Yes, yes. I'm going to pick a sex card for you.
Oh, do that.
Oh.
Because Marie just made me a sign with the love shack.
Okay, so this is the 9 of Cups. Okay. This is one of my favorite cards for sex. So we're not going to do the card cam, right? Well, we can. So the 9 of Cups is all about pleasure, luxury. Oh, cool.
I love this.
Okay. So these are my sex tarot cards. And they're sitting there, they're enjoying the delights of everything. All the things. The luxury, the food, the pleasure, sex, talking, connection. I mean, he's super hunky. Oh the camera just...
That looks amazing.
So, yeah. He's super hunky.
I love that. Well, thank you.
I love that card for you. It's like your backyard. All right, Barbara. Love you. I hope that was helpful.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you for the show and congratulations to everybody there. Much love and blessings. And thank you for having me. Have a great day.
Bye, honey.
Happy Gorginas. Happy Gorginas.
Oh, yeah. Happy Gorgina.
And the boys are the manginas.
Oh, they have manginas. Manginas and Gorginas.
I've actually heard that phrase before.
Yeah, non-binary. We'll have to come up with something for that, honey. Okay.
Binagina.
Binagina. I mean, we'll see. We can ask people how they feel about that. I kind of like it. What do you think, Mariah?
I like it.
Does that work for you? Your Binagina?
Barbara, you're awesome. Thank you for being a dynamo. Woohoo! Keep coming back. Angelica's here at 4 o'clock every Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bye, honey.
So, Angelica, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, because I have
we have somebody in the chat who wants to know if you can do a she can't zoom in where she is right now, but she would like to know if she asks a question here, could you read the question? And give her a
Sure.
reading?
How much time do we have left? Because I want to do a little talk about what I have in my hand and under the table.
We have 20 minutes left in the show.
Okay, so if you could just be a little patient.
Okay.
I like to bring out my little friends here.
All right.
Okay.
So Christina, if you're listening, go ahead and ask your question in the chat, and I will relay that to her so she can give you a little reading after her bag of tricks.
Yeah.
Bow, bow. There's a good like boing over there too if you need that.
Oh God. Okay. We'll have to find that.
Exactly.
Oh wait, I like this one.
There
No,
you
that's
go.
not the one.
That's hilarious. Yeah. That's how Sting that's how Sting sounds after he finally finishes his tantra section. Ba-dum-bum.
Okay. So I wanted to talk a little bit about ways to find more pleasure for yourself, to connect with yourself. And I realized that I needed some sexual healing. I realized that I needed to clear some energy from people that I'd been with in the past. And I got it into my mind that I should get a crystal wand, and not the kind that you use to make spells. Okay, I'm looking at you, DeMarcus.
Oh no,
that's not what it is. I don't know why. I'm just messing with
bust.
you. Because of the look on his face.
I was like,
So yeah, I heard about that you can have crystal balls, crystal eggs, and wands, and put them inside and use them for healing. And they can be used. I mean, the egg in the rear would be a little tough. However, the wand can be used by men and women, and can be used in different locations of your body.
Okay.
All right. So during.
Wait, what am I seeing?
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
I think that's fine.
So yeah, during the pandemic, I decided to do a little research. I decided to do a little research.
I love the build-up, by the way.
Yeah,
this is the most.
say.
Whoa.
And so I got my very first rose quartz crystal wand,
Cool.
baby.
Okay.
All right. So this is actually probably the way you might want to use it. Okay, depending on which area you're going to use it. So how this works, rose quartz is for love. Oh my God, I got Shady to blush.
No, I know I asked for this. I was like, we have to be more sex positive and talk about it, get it out there in the media so people feel comfortable. But it does, I know the little boy in me. Well, that sounds weird too.
Well, it could also just be.
My inner child is still dealing with, like the... Sex is fun. It's like I swear, if someone turned off all the lights right now, my first instinct would be go, ooh,
let's do it.
Like I did when I was in the 3rd grade.
So yeah,
trying to mature.
So rose quartz is good for the heart. It's good for self-love. I mean, it is.
If it's gonna reach your heart, you're gonna need a longer crystal.
Oh, God. Oh my God.
But
now I'm blushing.
I really want my little machine over here.
You got me to blush. Holy moly. I don't know if I can recover from that. Well, mine is not that long. I'm so sorry to say, because that might be interesting. But here's how it works. You lay down, you meditate, you figure out what you want to heal, and then you put lube on it and you insert it. Oop. Just clunked it on the table right at that moment. Oh my God. Yeah.
And
so,
why the meditation and that part?
Well,
Just
for
slow
the
down?
healing. For
Okay.
the healing. Because rose quartz is for self-love and healing. This is a healing tool.
Okay.
I mean, you can have an orgasm using it,
Mm-hmm.
but that's really what it's for.
Okay.
Because people hold trauma. I went through a hysterectomy. And so for me, I have scar tissue. I went through losing all my lady parts except for one ovary, which I proudly named Thor.
Oh, Thor.
Thor.
Because he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway.
Constantly empowering you to be your best self.
Absolutely.
Go, Thor.
Thor. So I wanted to have some healing with that and then remove this energy. And and also a lot of people don't have orgasms on their own. I mean, don't have them with a partner during sex. Sometimes they have to only have through stimulation, right? So that's what this is for. You can meditate on it. You
can do a lot of things on it.
You can do a lot of things.
I knew that was coming.
Oh, man, I'm so obvious. My humor is so obvious.
But in all seriousness, we're joking, we're having fun, and we're playing. I mean, I'm really going out on a limb here.
No, I don't. I think this is the kind of.
This is what I came to today. I was like, Okay.
Seems like the kind of thing you might have told me about before.
Well,
but I also
talked
appreciate where
about
it's
it
coming
last
from.
week,
I know.
You know, so I thought I'd bring my friend here. And so I decided to name him. His name is Rodrigo.
Rodrigo. Oh, boy.
The Rose Quartz Crystal Wand.
What would you... Hey, DeMarcus.
Yeah,
what
can
would,
you do a voiceover
what
of
would-
Rodrigo, please? And how he's going to heal me? Can we do that?
Should we go around the studio and ask everybody what they would name their favorite sex toy? Mariah?
Okay, let me think.
I have never named a sex toy, but if I were to name one, it might be like something like Jonathan. Like
Jonathan, that's so
stable.
Yes, Jonathan,
secure.
stable. He has a really good job.
Yeah, Jonathan has a good job. Jonathan is he just knows how to comfort you in all the right ways, but is not necessarily like, super crazy. There's no lights.
No, he's there for you.
Basic.
He comes with batteries
it's a
that
little basic,
are
but
self-charging.
Exactly, very
How about
fulfilling.
you? How about you, DeMarcus?
That's a hard one. No pun intended. I have no idea.
All right, well, you get to think about it.
Yeah.
So now I want to talk about the next thing.
Okay.
This is a product. So it actually is a product.
Okay. Just FYI though, I did promise one
Yeah.
person here, and she did send her question. I want you to just look at
Okay.
it, but I'll bring up the computer when you're ready.
Okay. How much time do we have?
We're good. Don't worry about the time.
Oh, because
This
I see a time clock on my for whatever it went to another thing.
You need not stress.
Okay, so wait, what are we doing? Am I going to talk about this, or are we doing the reading?
I think finish
because I can't see it right now.
Oh, no, I'm going to bring my computer up to you because I think it's special. Probably for your talent to kick in, you need to take it in first. Right?
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
Why not?
I clicked away from the page, so that's what's happening here. I had it all ready, and then I'll go to my last friend here.
It's Christina.
She's been so patient.
She has been so patient. Her question
Okay. I've been blushing, definitely. Okay, what's your question?
Right
honey?
before that blushing comment, she said about a 20-year marriage.
Oh, it just says thank you.
Look at the longer.
Above JD's comment.
Okay, got it. All right, so I was not prepared to read such small font. So I'm going to do this just like this. Okay, my question is how to go deeper and enliven my marriage of 20 years. They're both busy and want to deepen sensuality and spirituality. Okay, so let me tune in on that. First of all, it's about time. It's about making the time with this person because you're both busy. Your schedules are different sometimes. And getting really, really, really creative. I think surprises. I think you both need to play a game. How can I surprise you? Because in the beginning, we do all kinds of things. We try the menu. And then we kind of get into the way it is a lot of times. And we stop looking at the different ways we can do things sensually, sexually. So I feel like both of you need to get creative. And I think what would be cool is to both plan something for the other person without telling them what it is, and have some ground rules. Like, you don't want to be scared and be like, oh my God, I didn't know I was going to go to a swingers party, like a picnic with, all the things. So you might want to just these are the ground rules of what I feel is like I'm comfortable with. And then anything goes beyond that, and get really creative with each other and surprise each other. And maybe do it once a month, or I do this 2 weeks. I'm going to do it this week, and then 2 weeks later you do it, and surprise each other because you're in a this is what we do, and we're not trying the new things. And then as far as the spirituality, I think it would be amazing. I see you guys breathing together, meditating together, and then having sexual connection and surprises. It's just all about the surprises. So it takes a little bit of confidence after you're being with someone for a long time to do something different, to do something that you're like, oh my God, I haven't done that before. And will they judge me? And that could come up. So that's where you get to say, okay, this is what I'm comfortable trying. Like role playing, I think would be amazing and funny. It could be really funny to be a character, to dress up as something different. Because you guys have known each other for 20 years. And that's just in this lifetime, honey. Like you guys have been together for a long, long time. So I feel like that's part of it, is something that would change it up a little bit. Little wigs, I mean, maybe he would want to wear a wig or something, something different and surprise each other. So what could you do that would be a little, like, add an air of mystery and healthy danger? Nothing that would hurt you, but where you're like, oh, that's my edge right there. Because I think, too, to grow spiritually, we need to have courage. And if you want to bring spirituality into your sensual life, you need to go beyond your comfort zone sometimes, but you get to create the rules, meaning that it always has to come back to what's right for you. Let's just see if she has... Okay, it did it again. It clicked to something else. Or no, I'm on my computer. Did she say anything?
No, she hasn't responded yet.
So if there's any... So how does that sound to you, Chris?
I just asked her that. How does that sound to you, Chris?
Sound?
That resonates so much. Exciting. It's exciting and it resonates so much.
Oh, I'm so glad. And I also think, getting little toys, like what I just shared, things that you could be like, hey, and like putting out, I kind of see, I have these trays at home and I thought they're perfect. You put all the things on the tray and like carry it in and be like, and then the person's going to be like, huh.
That would be a surprise.
What is that? And you're like, well, wouldn't you like to know? And then if they're not interested, you're like, they just passed and that's okay. But they might be like, well, what is that? And what does it do? And how can we play with that? I think that's a really nice thing to do. So there's not a lot of pressure. It's just like, here you go. Here's some delights. Here's some treats. I also feel massage, energy work, massaging each other. And because you guys are stressed sometimes from work. It's a lot of stress. But sex gets rid of stress. So that's an incentive. I mean, that's a great, as I like to release stress with sex. Like,
do we need more of an incentive?
Yeah. I mean,
it's pretty popular.
I know,
hear.
right? I mean, well, some people shut down and they're like,
right.
when they're stressed, they don't want to have sex. I'm like, yes, please.
I feel attacked.
Yeah. all joking aside, though, like, I mean, you talking about putting out a tray of like those, toys and fun things that you can enjoy. That is probably one of the most beautiful like sex toys I've ever seen. It looks like a piece of art, like this rose quartz thing. And so I could see that being on a tray. There's other stuff, though, I could maybe not see out on a tray that might be like too shocking. But I guess it just depends what else is in your bag.
Right. Like, well, I have a nice little paddle. That thing is fantastic.
Oh.
I'm just telling you guys. Like, that was one of the best purchases during the pandemic ever. Woo! I had a lot of fun with that. I mean, I saw that. I was like, hello, lover.
Oh, my goodness. Well, the live chat has exploded now with interest. Tell us more about this paddle, says everybody who ever heard that story.
Well, it's like, look, a hand gets tired. And every now and then, maybe you might need a little spanking. For me, it's a grounding thing. I'm so out of my body. Marcus is giving eyes like crazy.
I'm just
He's
so
learning
intrigued.
all about me.
So
So I'm so psychic and intuitive. I'm barely in my body. So I like a little smack,
Right.
And I saw that thing and I was like, oh, yeah, that is fantastic. And then you try it and you're like, oh, yeah. But the thing is, in a hotel, it's a little loud. I have to say, it was a little loud. And it was like, oh, shizzle. The neighbors are going to hear. There's no way it's not that.
Well,
you're not like, oh, that could be the TV, or, oh, you're rattling around in your luggage.
No, that's the sound of Angelica being a bad girl. Not bad, but a bad girl. When you're getting paddled, that's what you're getting paddled for, right?
Yeah, I'm going. I mean, look, it's either my career is going to take off right now, or it's going to tank.
You know what?
I am out the gate now, man.
Authenticity.
I am out the gate.
Being yourself. That's good. That's a good thing. I love it.
All right. So I found this fascinating little thing, and it's called the One Night Stand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's called the One Night Stand. And at first I was like, oh, that's so, what is that? It's magnetic. It's magnetic. So it only lasts.
So the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz is like, what? Let me get some of that.
All right, so here's how
That's
it works.
apparently this new voice. If he only had a heart.
Okay, so here's how it works. It's magnetic.
Uh-huh.
It lasts for 90 minutes. And it never calls you again.
Oh,
it's the One Night Stand.
Wait.
One Night Stand. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip this camera over so we can be.
Okay, so I'm not gonna pull the thing, but I'm gonna tell you how it works. you pull this out.
Right here. Put it next to this card.
Okay.
There you go.
You pull this out, and then you place it on your area of choice. Okay. Because I think it could be good for men and women.
It's tiny to be a nightstand. Do you think that, is it like...
Choo, choo.
That's a funny joke from Avenue Q. They're like, one night. Have you ever seen Avenue Q? It's a Broadway show about puppets that really talk about things that people should be talking about, sex and stuff and porn. There's a whole song called The Internet is for Porn. The Internet is for Porn. Anyway. And before the show starts, they do these funny like things because they're puppets. So they're sort of making fun of Sesame Street.
Right.
And while you're waiting for the show to start, they show these big screens and they're like clues. They're just photos that you put the words together. And it was like one. And then it was like a picture of starry skies and the moon night. And then the sky's like stand. One night stand. One night stand. And everybody in the audience is like, one night stand.
So that's what this little thing is. I mean, it's really bad for the environment. I mean, you just throw it out because it only lasts 90 minutes. But it's magnetic. There is no battery needed.
Oh, it's just going to wobble around because there's a... Oh.
Yeah, so it just kind of has a suction situation that's happening. Okay. So, yeah, one night stand. So, I had a few one night stands during the pandemic, but this kind.
Okay.
And that's for men and women?
Well, it can be on the tip.
I could see how that could be really dangerous.
Well, it looks like it's good. No, but
men have more than just a tip.
Right.
I know, but you know how they just say just the tip.
Just the tip.
That's all you're gonna get. Just the tip.
Oh, now you can turn it back around on them. If the next guy says just the tip, you're like, hold on just a second.
Hold on, here's your one night stand. So basically, I mean, I don't know how many people could fit something in there, but you could put part of it in there.
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what that thing does.
It sucks and it stimulates.
There's no batteries.
No batteries. You pull this and it just goes zzz.
Oh, because the magnets inside of it are going crazy.
Yeah, it's just a magnet and it just I mean, you could use it on
like all the rave now.
Yeah. So that went over really well.
What did you say, Mariah?
Suction toys are like all the rave right now.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
wow.
they're
so hip.
They're blowing up on TikTok, all the suction toys.
Well, now this stock will probably go up.
I was about to say.
One night stand. Just the best name ever.
Sold out right now.
Hilarious, right?
Yes, all 8 of our loyal viewers are running out right now to boost the stock. I mean, it's early days, folks. We realize that. We're not crazy. But this is awesome. Like, I didn't know that thing existed. Where do you get something like that? Like, you can get like at Romantics or
at all those stores. Yeah,
all those stores.
Pleasure Trust.
All the stores, right? And
Right.
maybe even on Amazon. These were on Amazon. I got a few as stocking stuffers.
How much are
got
they?
a few from a friend of mine. Me.
She stuffed her own stocking, folks, with magnetic vibrators. That sounds about right. Did you?
It's been
how
rough.
much are they?
It's been rough. I think they were $9.99.
Oh, that's not bad.
I know that's a pretty cheap date, right?
For 90 minutes of pleasure?
Damn, I don't even have to drink. I don't have to get dressed. Nothing. And you already know they're not going to call.
Oh,
you're already, you know what I mean?
You know what it is.
You're like, and we'll never see each other again. You're just going to go right into a landfill.
Aw. Christina said, thank you so much, Mod Pod Studio and Angelica, for a fun and deep, no pun. She wrote that topic. Excited to try these surprises and massage for her hubby and vice versa. And she might have to get that one night stand. So you're right. Stock is going up.
Honey, it's fantastic. Get it now. Get it now. Just go click and get that. You're going to be like, oh, Angelica, this is fantastic. And you don't need anyone with you. But it's fun, too, to have a friend, you know. So before we end the little moment here, I wanted to just share a little bit about people working with me at home. I work by FaceTime video and phone, and then I also do in person. I do sessions. So the readings that I did, this is playful, this is fun. I mean, it's a few minutes. I'm just tuning in and getting a little something for the person. But when I work with people in person, it is very deep. It's very detailed. My intuition is very, very advanced in the sense of that I see all of the details of the person's life, and I'll get names sometimes. I'm also a medium, and I feel people's relatives, and I help them to get over some things that they can't quite get past when a person passed. They have guilt, they have shame, and information comes through that there is no possible way I could ever know. I'm really blessed to have been on this path for many, many years and to have asked for my intuition to open up so I could be there for other people. And to demystify it, everyone has intuition. We all have our gut. We all have that instinct. But often we overthink and we have fear, so we don't listen to it, right?
Mhm.
So when I do the one-on-ones with people, I tune in with their name and I get information, and then we'll go deeper into the healing. Like, let's say Barbara had some issues, and when I was telling her about bringing in somebody, and then we'd work deeper on that, or some trauma or a past issue with an ex that was blocking bringing that new person in, and then I go deeper into that. I also work with recovery, people that are recovering from all kinds of things. So you can reach me at my website, angelicaperman.com. And just shoot me a little email if you want a private session with me, and follow me on Instagram, same name, Angelica Perman. And I also have my music is going to be coming out, The Sound Empress, and the song that we played in the interstitial. There we go. That's my little Sound Empress.
Oh, I love that.
So my friend Carol Hicks took that photo.
Is this your
in
album cover?
Malibu. And I'm thinking about using it for something.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, and that is from my music video that's going to come out with the theme song, I Know What It's Like, which is the interstitial song.
It's very catchy. I love singing along. When I hear it, it gets stuck in my head the whole day, which is
Oh
a
my
good
God,
thing.
that's fantastic. So I have a music video that's coming out. Rusty Mack produced the music with me during the pandemic.
Right on.
We did 10 songs. And I also have sound baths that I'm going to be releasing.
We're going to have to do a listening party on the
Yes.
show, like a full album listening party. This would be great, and talk to you about each song and the meaning
love
behind
that. I
it.
would love
Also,
that.
if you find that you have, clients that will because I imagine what you do for a living, not music, but the other thing is very, the psychic ability is very personal. It's very private.
It's
and
very
intimate.
private. So doing it online, I try to dive gently when it's in public like this.
Right.
But when it's in person, I mean, people come up against their traumas and big things that they've gone through.
Because I think it could be a helpful tool for a lot of people to see a reading like that. And so one of these times, once you have a client who's open to it, who's open to sharing that space with someone, they don't have to be on camera, by the way. They can be off camera.
Oh, no, that would be fine.
Yeah,
I
we
think
could
that would
tape
be
it
good.
somewhere more private, and then you could show it.
Yes.
Because I think that there's something very, I said this, all the shows so far and introducing you on our premiere, that what you're offering people is another opportunity, is another avenue to healing. There's power in belief. I mean, whether you're a skeptic, 'cause I tend to be more skeptical person. People know that about me, but you've sort of made me a believer because on our first reading, we'll talk about that in the future. But the very first time you read me, I left thinking, oh, that's nice. Those are nice things to hear, but not. And then flash forward 3 months, I'm like, oh my gosh, those things are literally happening exactly right now, which is crazy.
Some people come up with things that they've come back to me and they say, Angelica, you told me this 5 years ago. It blew my mind that you knew 5 years in advance this thing that was going to happen. And that's because I've listened to what I call my guides. I literally see, feel, hear what needs to be shared with the other person, but it's always to bring them more light, to develop their spiritual gifts and their purpose, to have better relationships, to feel better about themselves. So there's always healing to it versus I just do a reading and that's it. I always go like this and then go super deep. And in recovery, I would see people and they would be skeptical. They're like, oh, I don't know about this. And I would have 30 seconds to a minute to get their trust.
Right.
And I just go, and I would say the thing and they go, okay, I don't know how you knew that, but I trust you. And building trust is really important doing this work. I mean, I'm playful and I'm doing this here in this way, but when it's in my private practice, I mean, I have heard every horror story of everything that you can possibly imagine that has happened in humanity. And I've worked with people from every walk of life, from celebrities to war veterans and police officers and surgeons and people that are in the world doing big, big things. And the other thing I specialize is in working with empaths. And we're going to talk about that in another show, being highly sensitive myself and how you work with being sensitive.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Hey, you took us right into the 5 o'clock hour, which is our time to say goodbye to everybody. But I have to say, Angelica, thank you. Thank you for your presence, for your energy, for what you bring. I know we had a lot of good laughs today around things, but we are part of the mission here is to, bring open and honest sexual talk into the mainstream and into media so that people feel more comfortable talking about it, so fewer kids grow up with so much shame.
Exactly.
I'm not going to jump back on the desk, Mariah. I think we can just close out from here with a song, and we'll.
Do we have the ending of my song?
That
I
would
know
be
what
fun.
it's like. Do you have that?
It might take longer
take
than
a
we
second.
have right
All
now
right, we'll
to
do
bring it
it.
up.
We can do that another time if you don't.
But we
have
could
it.
always close on her interstitial again,
Okay.
and that'll
Let's do
send
it.
us up. And after this, by the way, just before you go, everybody, I want to say thank you for joining another episode of Gals, Gays, and Theys. We're on every Tuesday and Friday, live streaming from 2 to 5 on Twitch and YouTube. And there you are. And I also want to say tomorrow we have a special live taping. Mod Pod Studio Live presents Friends Some and Then Some. That's actually a podcast that records here that I'm on with Mindy Stearns and Michelle Arrego. Shout out. You guys met Michelle here on our premiere. We will be doing a live taping at 4:30 p.m. tomorrow right here on Mod Pod Studio Live. And then, of course, we'll be back on Friday. And Angelica, you'll be here on Friday, right?
I will.
Sitting in the hot seat.
Oh, yes.
Maybe you could even live read someone just via writing back and forth
I could do
in the
that.
chat.
That would be easier. Like I have all the things. I had like all my crystal wand, my one night stand. I had the cards.
have it everywhere.
It was a lot going on. And then there's all the things that are going on with me. And then,
Yeah. And
all of that was happening because I'm thinking, being very creative.
And this is, will take us out with your interstitial, which includes a little sample of your music. I know what I want. Is that
I
it?
know what it's like.
Oh, what it's like. That's it. I love it.
The Sound Empress. That's
We
gonna
can
be the
sing this
release.
song because you own it.
Okay.
Yay! Yay! Thanks, everybody. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye from
Bye,
Mod
guys.
Pod.